This and all episodes of the podcast have been brought to you by our generous patrons over at Patreon, the DayZ podcast. If you're interested in finding out more about how you can support the show each week, then please click the link in the description down below to find out more information about Patreon, the DayZ podcast. Thank you for your support. And once again, as always, folks, a big shout out to our supporters on patreon.com, the DayZ podcast. Our $10 supporters, Scalespeeder Gaming and Dick Donovan. Thank you so much, guys. Your support is really appreciated. And a massive shout out to our $25 supporter, Jake Snow. I don't know why you do it, mate, but we can't thank you enough for your support for the DayZ podcast. All the best, folks, and enjoy the show. And welcome to episode 57, I believe it is now, Mark. So is it 57?
I think so, yeah.
Or 58? I'm having a senior moment.
I'm not 100% sure. Well into the 50s anyway.
Yep, it is episode 57 of the DayZ podcast. And this occasion we are joined by we had that awesome feedback a while back that, you know, we only ever talk to people of note in the community. What about the players? It's just like, well, fucking duh. That's a great idea. So we've got, well, I'm going to say 1.5 players. Because, Blundon, you're definitely a player. You haven't made any content, have you?
I used to, but it's been quite a while.
Yeah. Well, maybe we should say we've only got one then, because you used to. And, Mike, you're making slow little bits of content here and there. Yeah, but you managed to get featured in a Wobo video, mate, which is a big achievement.
Very big achievement. I'm not taking it seriously or anything, but, you know, it's something that I enjoy doing, so who knows.
Mate, if you enjoy doing it, why not fucking do it? If it's just a hobby for you, and you're not in it for sheep stations and all the rest of it, it's one of the things I've always said, Marks, is that making videos is one of the best ways to catalogue particularly with a game like DayZ. You know, I don't know about you, mate, but every now and then I go back and I watch some of my old videos from 7 years ago and, or maybe, I don't know, 5 or 6 years. I can't remember how long I've been doing it for. Again, senior moment. But it's great to have those random memories, isn't it, mate?
I same way. Always go back for the nostalgia trip, just to go back and see what my content was like back in the days. Brings back good memories and stuff. It's great, yeah. Because
you don't need to do big all-in productions, do you, Blundon? You can if it's just the footage uploaded onto YouTube, you don't even need to do a voiceover if you don't want to. Just something, and maybe as you start doing it, you might find you like it and keep on doing it, eh, Blundon?
Yeah, well, for me it was kind of strange anyway. I started doing it because I actually started doing video editing at work, so I was kind of new at work and I was trying to learn how to do it. And then I started playing DayZ around the same time. So kind of worked out well. I started editing DayZ videos to practice for work. And as I got better at work, the DayZ video editing got better. So it was kind of a win-win.
Yep. So you're actually an editor, IRL.
Yeah, I do a little bit of everything actually. So I used to be a full-time video editor like 3 years ago, but now I've moved on doing other stuff.
Do you do animations?
Yeah, somewhat.
I might need to have a chat with you about a job for a project for me and you, mate. Paid. I always make sure I pay someone, but I need help because it's something way above my pay grade. I'm literally the sort of guy who draws stick figures still.
Right.
Yeah, but I've got a project in mind, something that I've had suggested to me, and I think I think I'm a good person to be able to do it. But that's all I'll say on it. We'll have a chat afterwards, mate. Before we go any further, guys, I do want to quickly state that today is Anzac Day here in Australia and New Zealand. It's a very, very important day for military veterans. Elsewhere, Veterans Day, Remembrance Day is generally the biggest military day of the year. But strangely enough, here in Australia, we celebrate a loss, the battle at Gallipoli, for those who've ever heard of it. Where the Australians and the Poms and the Kiwis and everyone, we all invaded Turkey and pretty much got told in no uncertain terms, fuck off. So we had to do a fighting withdrawal, which was one of the most successful withdrawals in history, But yes, that's the date we choose to commemorate our military veterans. Is the day we suffered a pretty embarrassing ass kicking by the Turks. But yeah, there's a lot more to the battle. If you ever want to look into something, of military history that may interest you, definitely look up Gallipoli. It was quite a harrowing campaign for all involved on both sides. To this day, there's still a lot of mutual respect between the Turks and the Aussies. So, in honour of that, I am doing a fundraiser where I'm trying to raise $1,000 US dollars for Wounded Heroes. They're a charity that provide immediate crisis assistance. Now, I don't know whether any of you guys have ever dealt with agencies like that yourself in the past, or know of people who have, but usually with these sorts of welfare organisations, you've got to lodge an application and then wait for someone to process it and then do an interview and all the rest of it. These guys don't fuck around like that. They hear a story that there's a veteran living in a car park because he's homeless now and he's got his kids in the car with him. They'll go to him. They'll take cigarettes if the guy's a smoker. If you've ever smoked and you've been broke and you know what it's like not to have cigarettes, it fucking does your head in. It makes you really, really stressed. They'll buy them food. They'll get them groceries. They'll try to arrange emergency accommodation for them. They basically do all of those sort of services that a lot of other organisations don't. Because they do it like this and they don't have a lot of the checks and balances that other organisations have, they get next to no, if any, government funding at all. So they're heavily reliant on donations from corporate and from individuals like you and me out there. So if you've got a few dollars spare, I encourage you to go straight to the website. We all know people have scammed charities in the past, done the charity fundraiser and then not given it. I hope my track record shows people that I would never do that. But if you can do the donation through the link below, it'll tally up on the board, and every time we hit $100 US, I've got a key to give away. Your choice of either DayZ or Scum. I've got 5 DayZ keys and 4 Scum keys. So thank you very much to DayZ and Scum for sponsoring this episode. So yeah.
That's great.
Any of you guys ever serve?
No.
No.
Know anyone who did?
My younger brother's about to go into the army.
Oh.
Just waiting to get the call for training.
Oof.
So.
No, it's great, but just be prepared for him to change, mate. That's one thing that not a lot of people are aware of is the military is very good at turning you into a soldier, very bad at turning you back into a civilian. It's basically impossible. There's a video on YouTube called "You're Not in the Forces Now," which I share with a lot of people. It's Australian specific, and it was aimed at Vietnam veterans. But when I had that video shown to me, it changed my life. It made me realise that not all civilians were fuckwits, that I was actually the problem. It's a common thing with soldiers is you get that mentality that everyone else is fucked in the head, and you're the only one who sees it straight, and then you realise that, well, no, there's nothing wrong with the average person. They haven't gone through months and years of brainwashing like you have to turn you into someone who's prepared to shoot someone and take another life without really thinking about it. It does a lot to change the psyche of people, and that's why so many veterans have trouble when they leave the military and they end up back in the civilian workforce. I'll be honest with you guys, I don't work anymore because I'm a shit person in an office environment. I can't handle it. I lose my shit. I explode. I've got they did in the video I'm talking about, they do an explanation where they have like a glass of water and they talk about everyone's threshold of stress is usually around about here. Then as bills come in and you might have a fight with the missus and the boss is being hard on you, it slowly starts to rise. What the military does is once you get to the top, that's when your fight or flight instinct kicks in. What the military does is basically get you in a mindset where you're constantly around this level up here, near the top. So it doesn't take much to tip you over to that. You know, some people can lower it. Mine's a little bit lower, but once you hit there, the other thing the military does to you is it removes the flight instinct. So you're automatically going to fight. And that's why you'll know, if you guys know any veterans, that's why so many of them are so aggressive, is you're taught that when your fight or flight instinct comes in, there's no flight, it's only fight. And that's why soldiers really struggle after they leave the military to fit in with civilian world, because it's ingrained into your mindset. And especially if you've been on operational service, it really adds to it. So, yeah. They're a great charity, folks. They're an Australian-based one, obviously, so bear that in mind if you're going to make any donations. But, yeah, hopefully we can raise some money for them. Anzac Day is always a tough time of the year for them, and I'm going to be looking at doing another one around about Remembrance Day as well, because the lead up to Christmas is always terrible for them as well. But I've wasted enough time talking about... Well, not wasted. I've spent enough time talking about that. We're here to talk about DayZ, folks. Blundon, I'm going to start with you, mate.
Okay.
Because we've got a lot of serious stuff to get into, but when we get player guests on the show, folks, we ask them to contribute a point of discussion for the podcast. And I'll let you tell us what yours is, mate.
Oh, well, I just kind of... I don't know. For me, DayZ is a bit of a special game because I started playing because I had a kid in March of 2013. And, yeah, my son was born. He had severe autism. So it kind of threw a bit of a wrench into our life, obviously, and we had to adjust to that. So
when you say severe autism,
yeah,
what does that entail?
Well, he doesn't speak, and he's, prone to get upset. And, it's a bit of a learning curve. He has a bit of a sensory overload, so
Yep.
any amounts of noise and stuff like that kind of can set him off, and it's a hard time calming him down. And yeah, it was a lot to adjust to because it was our first and only child, so
Yeah.
we weren't even used to kids, let alone a kid with a special need. So yeah, it was a bit of a rough time, and we obviously didn't go out anymore, and friends stopped coming around and stuff. But right after that was when I kind of fell into DayZ.
I like the way you worded it to me, though, mate. I want to go back and just quickly elaborate on one point. Friends.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. Once it became a bit of an issue to hang out, and, we had a lot more responsibility and things to deal with, a lot of people just stopped coming around, and, I guess it was a bit too much trouble to deal with all the time. And, yeah, so we ended up mostly just me, the missus, and my kid, right, which was a bit of a change for us because we were really social up until we had our boy, and there was always people around and at the house. Newfoundland is a real social spot. Like a kitchen party is a normal thing here. Everyone just goes to each other's kitchens, hangs out and drinks, and so it was a bit of a change for us. And I used to play a lot of console gaming growing up. I was very into all that, but I'd never played anything online ever until I played The Last of Us, which was, I'm sure you all like that game.
Oh, amazing game.
Yeah, it was a, real eye-opening game for me. Kind of got me into the whole zombie genre and this and that. And actually, that was my first taste of playing anything online, because I played the factions that they had built into it, where you could play like 4 versus 4 kind of deathmatch thing. So up until that point, I'd never played a real player online before. So I kind of got a little bit of a taste for enjoying that kind of style of gameplay, because it was a lot more intense. So started looking for similar online type of games, and found DayZ. Obviously, it's the big one. So yeah, I started jumping in and playing that a bit solo. Didn't have a gaming computer or anything like that. I actually started playing DayZ on a MacBook Pro with VMware, just so I could run Windows. All right, it was not the ideal setup, but I really wanted to play the game. It just looked, so different, and I don't know, it's just something really appealed to me. So I did whatever I could just to play it, and yeah, I started on a MacBook Pro.
And now you're here.
Yeah,
On the
it was
podcast.
Yeah, it was great because I actually met some buddies. I ran into a few people by myself when I was playing solo, but it was mostly I'd get killed or they'd rush me, and then you'd end up shooting them. There wasn't a whole lot of communication until I met a fellow named CJ, which a lot of people know from Twitter. He's quite the character. He's from Boston, so he has that strong Boston accent. He spoke to me in game, and it was just hilarious to me because I'd never spoke to anyone from Boston before, and the wife is pocking the cock kind of deal. And we just ended up talking. He said, I got a group of buddies we play with regularly. You should come hang out. And so that was the beginning. And then, I found 10 or 12 guys from all over the world, which, never thought I'd meet people from Russia and Germany and, places I never dreamed I'd know anybody.
Yeah.
And I mean,
it's awesome like that, isn't it, mate? People. How long have you and I been chatting on and off? Years.
Yeah, it must be years, right? I mean, the guys that I play with now that I met, it's been 8 years, and I talk to those guys like every single day, pretty much. Almost every night we jump on, and if not DayZ, we're playing something, and you're having a chat, and it's like, I don't know, they were even better friends than the real friends that I thought I had,
Yes. I firmly agree with you there, mate. Like, we touch on this point quite a bit, Marks, but I view a lot of these people online as better friends than my IRL friends.
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
It's incredible. Like, I don't know. I wasn't prepared for jumping into a community like DayZ. Like, I thought I'd be playing a few games and hanging out, and that would be it. But when I started, I didn't even make up a cool code name like everyone did. Everyone has this cool handle. I just used my real name, because I didn't think I'd ever.
What's that supposed to mean?
Look at me, mate. Look at me. Yeah, Mike.
Yeah.
I'm guessing that's your actual name, Mike.
Oh, of course.
Marks, is your first name really Marks?
Yeah.
We are the worst fucking gamers.
He's just offended the whole
we should all hand
podcast.
in our gaming passes right now.
Way to ruin my point.
He just comes up and insults everyone.
Sorry, yeah, kind of backfired in this situation, but like everybody on my crew all has a name, and I just use my real name. We even got a guy who calls himself Steve Danger. I played with him for 5 years. I assumed his name was Steve, and his name's not even Steve. Like, so strange.
Well, you might remember
But, totally wasn't,
Charlie DayZ from back in the day. Charlie's not his real name.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. By the way, I've got a message here, Mike. Chris Kapow, please inform Mikey that I'm angered by no face cam. For transparency, I'm Mikey's dad.
I can confirm Chris is not my dad. This is just shite he's talking, as he always does, but Chris is a very good friend of mine, and to be quite honest, I don't care that he's angry that I don't have a face cam. He can deal with it.
But it is like you said, Blundon. It's just the bonds that this. I imagine there's it's the same with other games, but for me, it's at first with DayZ. Probably the closest thing I've had was back in the day when I used to play Call of Duty online on console with someone who's in chat every now and then, Chaser's Odyssey or Glenn, Alex, and another lad, and would regularly get on and play together. But I've never been involved in anything like the DayZ community before in my life. I don't know whether this is normal for gaming communities, but all I know is it's helped make DayZ, for me, Mike, a much bigger and special community.
I think what's really different about DayZ than any other game is that DayZ has downtime. Like,
yes,
like playing Call of Duty and PUBG and all that stuff. You've always got a goal. You're always being pushed. You're always trying to kill. Yep. Whereas DayZ, there's hours where sometimes you just do nothing but sit around with your buddies and shoot the shit, and you're just having a fire and whatever, fooling around, and then out of the blue, someone shoots at you, and everyone goes in battle mode.
Yeah,
I think that's probably one of the reasons why the community is so tight in the first place, is because a lot of these people know each other from Twitch and Twitter and stuff like that, and because there is so much downtime, there's so much time to just spend in Twitch chat just talking to people and talking to streamers and stuff. And
Yes.
you meet some people, like even Chris in chat, for example. I would never, ever have met him in my life if I didn't play DayZ, and he's became a really close friend of mine. And it's crazy the amount of relationships you can build in this game.
It's almost like it's part game, part just chatting, marks. You know, you can, as a streamer, as a content creator, mainly streamers we're talking about here, you could be playing the game and just running down a road, going to the next town to loot or something like that, and you just chat, so you get to know your community on a more intimate basis than, like they're saying, someone who's playing a more fast-paced game.
Yeah, that's what I do. It's great. It's weird, but it's kind of great at the same time. You do have just that conversation. It's a very relaxed environment. I think that's why people like it so much. It's very chill. It's nice. You get to hang out. If you're lonely, you can just hop into a DayZ stream, and there'll be somebody there to talk to you.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
You know.
Yeah.
Which is
I mean,
probably the
strange.
number one tip for all DayZ streamers. Don't ignore your chat. You've got really no reason, other than if you're in the thick of it, to ignore your chat. Always pay attention to your chat. That's one thing that sets DayZ apart.
Yep.
What were you going to say, Blundon?
I was gonna say, like, I've even got old videos where for 10 minutes at a time we're just driving in the back of a truck and getting parenting advice from one of the guys, and you know, it's so out of place in a video game, but it's just like you're hanging out. You know, it's like every night when we jump in Discord and hop on a server, it's like you're meeting up with your buddies on the corner, you know, for lack of a better way to put it. It's so strange. It's completely different. I think that's the unique thing about the game.
Have you met up IRL with anyone through the game?
Absolutely no one. Like guys I've known for years and years and years, and I've never met any of them in person.
Yep.
Which is mind blowing. Like I live in a tiny little island off the, you know, very far east, right? Like I've only been to the US once on a vacation. I've barely left this island, but yet now over the years I've met people from all over the world. Like it's just mind blowing. Like I'm talking to you right now, and you're in Australia.
Yeah, yeah.
You know,
in the
how
future,
crazy is that?
In the future as well.
Yeah.
Future.
And I don't know where Mike's from, but he doesn't sound Canadian.
I'm definitely not Canadian. I'm from Scotland.
Yeah, exactly. It's just incredible.
It is. It's you know, for all its faults and all the rest of it, there's nothing like it. There really isn't. It's an amazing tight knit community. It's just, you know, the way the game is designed. There's just so much downtime. You know, even other games that are similar to it, they just don't seem to have that same vibe that DayZ has, where you can go from 0 to 100 in a few seconds, because there's just, you know, so many open expanses, and it's just it is fairly unique in that respect, isn't it, Mike?
Yeah, because it's such an old game as well. There's so many people that have been here for so many years, and it seems to just be getting bigger and bigger. I mean, DayZ hit its peak player count just recently. Yeah. So I don't know. It's just constantly getting bigger. There's more people coming in. Servers are getting, well, that's a topic for its own discussion. I'm not sure how I feel about the way the servers are going at the moment, but you know, there's just so many more people coming into the game and coming from different communities, and I'm constantly still meeting more people. This is the first time I've ever spoke to you or Marks or anyone.
Just looking at the Steam chart now. Share my screen. Oh, for crying out loud. There we go. Such a boomer. Still holding pretty steady there. We'll go to the 1 month. Yep. 30s.
Yeah, it's doing well.
Yeah.
I didn't expect it to be that high, to be honest.
Yeah, I think the peak I saw it hit, it was kind of recently. I think it was when Shroud and his friend, I can't remember his name, started getting back into the game. It hit something like 44, 45,000, something like that. And I believe that's the highest all-time peak for the game.
I think
45, yeah.
Essica, although we're jumping ahead to a topic, but I think Essica's going to see a little bit of a mini spike again as word gets out that there's this awesome new map available.
Hopefully.
Such a beautiful map.
Oh yeah.
It's always good to put some pressure on Bohemia to make their game better, I suppose. When they see the player counts rising and rising, they start running out of excuses to put stuff off. So let's get our head down and work.
But Mike, your topic, mate. We started off on a nice feel-good one about how fucking awesome DayZ is. Now we'll go to your topic, mate. Tell us what you want to talk about.
I wanted to talk about something that not many people have noticed, really. I didn't even notice it myself much until it was actually Toprek that started talking about it on his stream. But the gunshot sounds, or not really the sounds, but more the ranges of the sounds have been changed so much. And it seems so much worse from what I've seen so far, in my opinion. But I first noticed it. I was watching Toprek, and someone was shooting at someone he was playing with. Literally, I think it was something like 800, 900 meters away from him, with a shotgun, constantly just blasting shots. And Top couldn't hear it at all. And he could see the compound where the guy was shooting from, and he still couldn't hear the shots until he got much closer. Which was never the case before. Before in 1.11, if you shot a shotgun, that's going to ring out for miles. And I think it's going to make gameplay so much worse, because every shot you fire becomes a threat in a way. If you fire a shot, you're no longer safe. Anyone for miles of radius could have heard that and start tracking you. But I don't know, obviously you saw the video that I posted, but if you shoot pistols, even things like the revolver, the Desert Eagle, their range is like 250 or 300 meters now. If you're beyond that, you can't hear it at all.
Can you share that video again in chat, and I'll bring it up on the stream. I just don't have it handy, the link for it.
Right, in the Twitch chat?
Yeah, just in Twitch chat.
Yeah, hang on, I'll grab it quickly.
I've played the update, and I've only played on Essica, and the main PvP on Essica is mainly in Essica City. So people are shooting you from pretty close distances. I haven't heard any like super long range shots yet, but I personally I haven't noticed anything different. But then I also didn't realize it was a thing that had changed, so I wasn't really keeping an eye out for it. But when I'm on again, I'll have to keep an eye out for that, because that's actually kind of interesting.
Well, we've got this little video to watch.
Yeah, I didn't have much time to put much effort into the video. It was just me and some admins from the Karma Crew server just testing some shots. This was just the main stuff that we noticed, really.
He did shoot.
I cannot hear anything.
Well, this is a deagle. A Magnum. Did you hear that?
No.
Oh,
The sound is completely gone after 300 meters. Alright, I'm gonna shoot the Magnum from 250 meters away.
Should have used binos here.
Yeah, true. I didn't even hear it. Literally nothing.
Really?
Nothing at all.
Do you not hear anything?
Absolutely nothing. Nothing
no.
at all. Okay.
400
Now, is that a
meters.
change or is it a bug?
I believe it was a change. They said in the patch notes that they changed. I can't remember exactly what it was or which experimental patch it was, but I did see it in the notes that they changed it. They also changed the suppressor sounds, which are much worse in my opinion as well.
So yeah,
Like that last shot there from the shotgun, the old range on the shotgun was 3.4 kilometers. If you were 3.4 kilometers away, you would still hear it. So it's just been absolutely tanked in half. And what's weird as well is that the gunshot sounds don't really ring out as much. So from the first clip of the pistol shooting, instead of it being like a shot and then a tail sound ringing out, it's literally just a quick like, and that's it.
Spud in chat, he's the owner and admin of DayZ Down Under, saying they have made suppressors way worse as well. Super quiet and testing them. Every firearm I tested ruined before the suppressor even went to warn. And he said the improvised suppressor lasts for more than 40 shots.
Yeah, I don't know if you saw the new suppressors, but even I think Mark's had it in his video about the scout rifle. The sound effect of it is so quiet, and
Super quiet.
the suppressed Desert Eagle as well. Like Minder's been talking about it a lot on his streams because he just absolutely hates it. But again, they've removed the tail sound of it, so instead of it being like a psh, it's just a quick and that's it. Which it's unrealistic for a start, but it just sounds kind of dumb in my opinion. It's quite unbalanced as well. It's quite a lot harder to actually tell where you're getting shot from.
Look, I'll go back to, even though it's slightly off the topic, but it is still related, Toprek talking about with the gunshots. Let's not forget it's still a bloody game, and games need to be fun, not annoying. It's something that I've always got to balance in my mind, being a hardcore survivalist type player, that at the end of the day, it's still got to be fun for everyone. And when you've got overpowered weapons and improvised suppressors, a bottle and duct tape is all you need to make one. You can find that usually in any town that you get to. So you go from having to risk it for a biscuit to being able to ninja snipe someone. And with those audio files, Marks, that's pretty scary, isn't it?
It is, yeah. Yeah, I didn't realize that about gun sounds. Well, that's kind of interesting.
It just seems like it's such a pointless downgrade in my opinion. It's like no one had ever complained about the sound system in DayZ. Like I think it was in pretty much a perfect place. I thought they had the gunshot audio really nailed, and Wobo had just made his videos about the gun sounds, and a week later they completely change it, and it's completely different now. And from what I've seen of everyone that knows the issue, it's a pretty significant downgrade. Everyone thinks.
It's odd. I look. I applaud them for changing things. Because there's still plenty of areas that need to be fixed. But all I can say is people need to get into experimental more to provide the feedback on this sort of stuff, because it's kind of sad that it seems every single patch that comes out, it's not until it hits stable that we start to find out about all these major issues with it.
Yep.
Do you think it's just a typical DayZ thing where they tried to adjust it for the zombies and using suppressors more to deal with that, and it just got bugged?
Could be.
Like, do you think it was just over adjusted too much, maybe?
Gravity Wolf's
I
in
think
chat saying it's because these changes are not in experimental. Gravity Wolf's someone who I will take him at face value, and if he said that wasn't in experimental, that it wasn't in experimental. He just added not all changes are added to experimental before release.
That's true. Like I said, I remember seeing it in the patch notes, but I have no idea which update it was. I don't know if it was it might have been the stable update. Maybe they just added it in stable without ever actually having it on experimental. I'm not sure.
I also agree, and we've harped on this a little bit of late, Marks, but they really need to, for every experimental update, particularly when there's going to be changes to gunplay and things like that, they need to create dedicated deathmatch servers to really load test the changes that they're putting in.
Something to get the people on the servers, because people are not playing the experimental servers.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I know it's just pure vanilla, but they need to get something to get people to play those servers, because
the experimental servers don't need to be hardcore. They don't need to be realistic. Put fucking loot everywhere if you have to. Vehicles everywhere if you have to. Guns everywhere if you have to. Just so people can get in without. Because I think that would be a massive upgrade for the Marks.
Yeah, like I played the 112 experimental, and I was finding food everywhere. I was finding guns. I didn't have a problem like surviving. But yeah, they just need to get people onto it. I don't know what's stopping people from playing it. I don't know if it's just not appealing or they don't know how to. So I think next time there's an experimental update, I'm going to put up a tutorial on how people can get onto the experimental version. I think might help them, but yeah, I don't know. They need to do that, because when they changed, especially like you said, stuff like gun damage and stuff, like it's a bit weird the way they done it with this update, and it doesn't look like you can't really test something with 4 or 5 devs behind it. You need to have full servers constantly checked
Yeah.
out.
I thought it was quite strange that they didn't actually, because back when 0.63 released, I'm
had-
sure they did
yeah.
a few deathmatch servers for experimental.
Yeah, they did.
I think that would have been a much better way of doing it for damage changes, because,
if they're
like you said, the servers are quite empty most of the time. So if you're wanting to test damage servers and you look at the server list and it's all low, you're never going to be able to test anything on that.
I wonder, are they testing something? Is this why they're changing all the sounds in the gunplay? Are they testing something? Are they trying to implement some new system, or because it seems
Maybe.
weird for them just to suddenly change everything? It was fine the way it was.
Yeah,
One
that's
taps were
what I
nice,
think
but-
about the audio. I think the gunshots, like themselves, the damage values and stuff needed changed. I think a lot of people talked about that quite often, that we wanted more uncons and
Yeah,
that the damage system needed to be a bit more diverse. But
the on-cons are good. Like me and Cairo were playing the first 2 days. 112 came out, and we were on Esca, and we were one tap people to the chest. They were dropping, on-con. The whole it really does force a lot more interaction. It's really good. But the shock damage is quite like I got knocked out with a 308, and my character nearly fell back. With one tap, and he was just instantly knocked out. And you can't aim back in.
mhm.
So it looks like there might be adding some new system or something. I don't know. I hope
Yeah.
they sort
I
it
think
out.
the concept for it's good, but the execution
Hmm.
it still needs some work. I think a lot of the stuff is in a good spot,
Yeah.
but some of it is quite bad. But again, with the sound system, like, it just seems so strange for them to ever change something like that. They had such a good system in place, and no one had ever complained about it. No one said there was anything wrong or that it needed changed, and they just completely out of nowhere just change it entirely.
Yeah. Like the
Sorry, what was that system
damage-
again?
The gunshot sound system,
Yeah.
so like the video I showed with the shots ringing out a lot earlier.
Like the damage system in 112 is good. The only thing is the shock values.
Yeah, I agree.
And I think the only reason they haven't perfected it in experimentals because they couldn't get the stats right because nobody was on them.
Yep.
So I think if people were on the experimental servers when 112 came out, we probably
Yeah, that's exactly, you nailed it there, because all the feedback that we were sending on Twitter, they were taking it fast and they were making really fast, effective changes, but just because it was so hard to test it properly, that not many people were able to send proper feedback in, so
Yeah.
it's a bit of a missed opportunity.
Been knocked out and then tried to ADS with your gun in 112?
No,
Have you seen the bug that's have to happen there?
I have not. What's that?
So I can actually link it because I sent it to the devs and Scotty and stuff so they can look at it. But when you get knocked out, you're obviously you fall to the ground, your gun falls on the ground as well, and you pick it up. And when you pick it up, your sights are not dead straight. They're like
Oh, yeah.
And
I've had that happen to me before in recent patches earlier before this, but it's really bad because the bullets go all over the place when you're trying to shoot.
yeah, like I'll link it here. There's a clip of it if you want to check it out. But like your sights are up, and whatever you do, trying to drop your gun on the ground, jump or anything, you can't do it. It just won't reset it. It's really weird.
Oh yeah, I'm watching the clip now. I can see it.
Oh well, it's up to you, dude.
My gun's.
You wanna
Does
live,
that
definitely
voice
down
crack? Does that happen
Gun's
every
fine.
time you get knocked out?
What is that?
It's
It's
happened
got
every
no
time
map.
I've got knocked out. And if you swap guns,
What the?
same thing happens as well.
Wow, that's strange. I saw that actually. This happened to. I think it was Minder. I can't remember exactly who it was, but I saw this happen to someone earlier.
Right, okay, I've got.
So
a plan.
I sent them that
Alrighty.
video, and they said they're
I
going
think he's gonna have to reload soon. He's
Um,
missed a lot of bullets.
I
I
think
was
my
just
gun
knocked
might
out
be
after
bugged
this.
because I'm
Like,
aiming
I,
down
s-
sight.
I can still get a kill with it, as you'll see here in a second. I can still shoot it straight, or it seemed like it was straight, but it's just the sights are completely wonky, and I don't know why it's doing that.
Yeah. Strange.
Yeah,
DayZ.
Like, you
It's
see
an
that the sights are
unintended game feature.
Yep.
Stop using the B word.
Yeah, we don't say that word. We say feature too.
You can see that they're just off at an angle. It's really weird.
Yeah. Whenever it's happened to me, it's actually like the shot doesn't go where the sight is either. From what I found, maybe up close it's probably fine because
Yeah,
the
we
angle's
were-
so tight anyway.
We
But
were fairly up close.
when you're
Okay,
shooting distance, you
Mario
can
in
see the
chat is
bullets go
saying
wrong.
that gets fixed if you look, aim all the way up once.
Right.
Hmm.
Okay.
So
That's
there
good
is
to
a
know.
fix, but it's not a Yeah.
Not everybody's going to know of that fix, so it's
Yeah.
probably better that they fix it.
I want to quickly
themselves.
just touch back to something Gravity Wolf said in chat. If they won't release beta tests, I will put up experimental deathmatch servers. That's great, but it shouldn't be on the community to do that.
Yeah.
Something I've had in the back of my mind, Blundon, and I hate saying things like this, but it makes us wonder how serious they are about DayZ. This isn't a go at the dev team. This is, just how limited are the resources they have, Blundon, if they can't even, put up servers like that for us, and if they're chucking things into experimental at the last second before we've even had a chance to test it. It just how much pressure are they under, or how are things like this happening, mate?
I think it's just that they need to do exactly what you said. Throw up the deathmatch server and give it the great loot explosion of 2016 again, and just put guns everywhere. I think people would come if it was quite clear that here's a deathmatch server that's just loaded with guns because we want to test guns.
Tweet out the devs are going to be on here. Hit up the Running Man and fucking Tope and a few others maybe. Although it'll probably get DDoS to fuck if that happens. Just
privately. Don't even stream it. Like they done that for 0.63. I don't remember if you remember when they were testing the new engine with 0.63. They were releasing up kind of like deathmatch servers every other week or every week even.
Yeah, I remember seeing one with the Mosin when they first added the new PU scope for the Mosin. Made a deathmatch server.
Like they were like, right, we've implemented jumping now. You can go in and see it. They'd load up a server and they'd spawn you all in one area, be either like Zelendogorsk or Northwest area. And they were really fun as well because you could just run around and literally it'd spawn you in a certain gun and you just go for it. And they were fun. They should bring that back, I think, as well if they're implementing stuff like this.
Definitely.
It's the only way to properly test it.
100%. Yeah.
I think they are definitely limited as a team, but I don't think they're limited to a point where they can't quickly make up a deathmatch server,
Yeah,
if
or
the
even
community can do it.
Like even message the one and be like, "Can you host us some servers?" Because he is he has some of the best deathmatch servers out there. Like it shouldn't be technically that difficult to do, but who knows how it works behind the scenes.
Well, I'm going to go even further and say, not just if they can't do it themselves, contract it out. Pay fucking Daone, pay Gravity Wolf, couple of $1,000s to fucking run some deathmatch servers for them. Surely there's got to be a way that they can do this. Surely.
That's a pretty good idea.
I don't think it's hard at all to make up a quick server, because all you really need to do, in a sense, is boost the loot like crazy, make server restarts often, make bodies despawn fast, and put a bunch of player spawn points in the Northwest Airfield, and you're pretty much good to go. I'm no server developer, of course. I don't really know exactly what goes into it, but from what I've been told from people that are server developers, someone could make that up in 15-20 minutes if they wanted to.
Yeah. And then, like you said, either get a load of streamers onto it and just promote it out, say what server they're on, or not. That might get DDoS, but there might be a different way to do it then as well.
Spud saying he reckons that the whole weapon sounds and suppressor is so bad it needs a hotfix revert.
I agree.
Depends if people are reporting it to them.
I've sent it to them on Twitter. I didn't send it on the feedback tracker, but I got a message back saying that they're sending the feedback to the team, so hopefully it gets changed. It's not game breaking in any way, but it is just a significant downgrade for no real reason.
It's a full release game. It's I love DayZ, but this is unacceptable. It's a full release game. Things like this shouldn't still be happening. We've had no, it needs to be fixed ASAP.
I agree with Chris in chat. The same people strongly overestimate how much funding DayZ has.
Yeah, but some of the stuff they do, this was a point that Minder brought up recently that was, I thought, quite true, because I think DayZ at the moment are struggling with their animations. So I don't know if it's that they don't have someone to do animations for them,
I've
or
heard they don't.
that it's not
I've heard
working.
they don't
But
have an animator.
that's what I've heard as well, and I think it's quite obvious looking at things like the V3S truck was added with a cover on the back of it because they couldn't animate the motion of getting into the back seat, or the AEST Val rifle was literally a new gun with the copy and pasted animations from the VSS. The Scout rifle has the copy and pasted animations from the CR527, for example. So I think they're definitely at a point right now where they really don't have much at all. At least that's what it seems like.
They're probably all working on that Secret Armor project, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Unannounced
I would
military simulator.
Yeah, that would be my
Yeah.
my thought on it anyway.
Oh dear Lord.
Such a shame though, because Bohemia doesn't seem to give DayZ the love that it should have, because it's not like it's not as if Bohemia doesn't have the funds for it. These guys are making millions from these games, but DayZ's their biggest game by far, and it seems like all their other games are getting more support. You look at the game, that third-person Tarkov ripoff, whatever it's called, Vigor, I think it's called. Yeah, that. And that seems to just get so much more
Vigor,
support,
sorry,
and
Vigor
such
or
a
whatever.
bigger developing team than DayZ does, which is such a shame because there's so much potential for the game that they're missing out on.
Mm-hmm. All I'm going to say on this with the topic of animations is do not miss next week. You do not want to miss next week's episode. Next week's episode, there is going to be a bombshell dropped on the DayZ modding community that is going to reinvent the game.
I'm going to hold you to that. If you let me down, I'm going to be pissed. That sounds brilliant.
I tweeted out, just to give you an indication, I tweeted out, and Marks and Foxy in the admin team had a bit of a go at me, like, oh boy, you're over-promising on this. I tweeted out that this is the biggest change to DayZ since Namol's Survival. Now, a lot of people thought I was talking about Namol's map. No, I'm not talking about Namol's map. Namol's map is just, at the end of the day, it's just another map. Eska's just another map. They're all still working with the current thing. What I was talking about was Namol's Survival with the Frost aspect of Namol's map. So, up until then, pretty much most mods, nearly all mods, had just been doing variations of what was in the game. Namol's Survival was the first mod that I can think of off the top of my head, I apologise if I'm wrong, that said, let's add something to DayZ that doesn't exist. And they added a whole new category of frost resistance, getting frostbite on your character, having to actually care for your character. I know it pissed a lot of people off having to light fires every 5 minutes so you didn't get frostbite, but it reworked the way you play the game.
Yeah, definitely. That's what kind of blew me away when the mouse in the first place, was just because the gameplay was so different. Like, the map itself was gorgeous, of course, but just the way you had to play the game was something completely new and fresh. And
you saw a fire, you ran to the fire, you didn't stop, you just, fuck it, I've got nothing to lose. If I don't, I'm going to get frostbite. So you ran there. It reinvented the game. Now, when I tweeted this out, like I said, I copped a bit of flack for it. People saying, fuck Boyd, you're over delivering on this. Inclement Dab. Now, you all know who Inclement Dab is?
Yeah.
By the way, I'm doing a spotlight interview with Inclement Dab on Wednesday or Tuesday night, depending on where you are. One-on-one, mano a mano, me and him. But he made a comment in a Discord, because someone linked my tweet, and they said, is Boydie overhyping this, basically? And Inclement Dab replied, let me see if I want to word this correctly. Because I did share the tweet in the admin chat of the thing. Where is it? Let me just find it. He dares compare Namols to animation framework. It's not even close. Not even remotely close. Animation framework destroys Namols. Sorry, losers. Losers. So yeah, you now know what we're going to be talking about next week. animation framework. That's all I'm going to tell you. You can Google it, search for it, ask around, but we've got the guys behind the project coming on the podcast next week. Like, it's that important. I even rescheduled the existing guest I had, because this is just going to be fucking massive. It's going to reinvent the game in a way that you will... Sadly, I don't... I'm trying to hype this because... like Marks and Foxy are a classic example. You guys didn't quite understand what I was on about. Admittedly, I was being rather secret squirrel about it, and still am being rather secret squirrel about it. But once you realise what this is going to do, and word gets out, if the right people and the right stuff gets done with what's going to be given to the community, it's going to reinvent DayZ like you've never seen.
100%. Because all the mods at the moment are literally just reworks of animations and features that are already in the game. So the last new animation I saw was something that we got on Karma Crew recently. It was a Slav squat emote, and I think that was just back... I think it must have been years ago, but when the community first started messing around with the animation tools, I remember there was a few servers that were getting some custom emotes and stuff, and then after that it just sort of died off.
Yeah.
I've not really seen anything to do with it for ages, so if something new is coming to do with animations, I'm all
we're going
for
to
it.
stop now because we're stealing thunder from next week, guys. It's fucking huge. It is absolutely fucking huge. I don't know how you're going to be able to do a video on it, Marks, without having concrete evidence, but it's going to be one you'll definitely want to think about, mate, because it's monstrous. It is absolutely fucking monstrous.
We'll have a look, see what we can do.
Yeah. I've just had a link sent to me from Gravity Wolf. What's this? Mods with the same version are getting a version mismatch error. I have about 40 mods on my server. I am unloading every mod, reinstalling every mod, ensuring my local copy is updated, but every mod has the same version mismatch error. That's probably the other thing that came out of this update. We had a pretty good run there for a couple of patches where there was minimal issues, and then from what I understand, this patch was terrible for modded servers.
Yeah.
Apparently only some, though. Some servers were fine and some were not. I think it was kind of... You were either lucky or unlucky.
I think the Spud or Mario or Gravity Wolf in chat might be able to elaborate on what the common denomination was that fucked over servers, but it's sad to see it happen, Mike, because these community servers are, in most cases, they're the backbone of DayZ. They're keeping the game going. The community's based around them, and when they get fucked over when a new patch drops, it
seems to be way too common as well. Like, I'm still quite new to PC as a whole. I've not really been here for too many patches, but I have been watching DayZ on Twitch for years now, and it seems that almost every time a patch comes out, the servers are a mess. Every time that the community servers are trying to get up, and there's always something going wrong, or this mod's not working with that mod, and this mod's not updated, and it's all over the place sometimes.
See, Zyson's saying in chat, delete your mods and let them reinstall client and server side. That's all well and good, but for the casual gamer, if they're on a server with, in this case, 40 mods, they're not going to sit around and wait for that. You're just going to say, fuck it, I'll play something else then.
Yep.
That's what a lot of us streamers usually say. People to be always like, oh, mods are broken for this, and we always say, give it a week. Give the game a week. Just don't even try it for a week. Come back next week and see it. Then everything usually works. It usually takes a couple of days for stuff to kind of level out again. And so we're always just like, yeah, just give it a week.
But we shouldn't have to be doing damage control, Marks.
Oh, I know. Yeah, I know.
Yep.
But, people ask, and we have to give some type of answer back,
Yeah.
So we just try our best with the knowledge that we have.
I think that's just the nature of the beast, man, with any kind of development like this. Like, I'm like, for instance, I build apps and stuff for phones, and, your working on stuff and you're using some third-party things to make things happen, and then every time, say, iOS updates itself, it breaks all the third-party things you're using. I think that's kind of typical in the development environment, but I don't think it's something that, you know, people want to deal with. You know, the casual player, like Boydie was saying, I think it's kind of something I'd expect if I owned a server and I ran a lot of mods. I'd be like, well, I'm running a lot of mods that were made by a community, so I kind of got to expect things not to work all the time. But it's unfortunate for the players, you know.
Look, kind of off topic, but a bit related. This is one of the advantages of console over PC, folks. Console don't have to worry about this. Yes, we get the joys and we get to look down at them with our modded servers. That then when an update comes out, it just goes to fucking shit on us.
Yep.
It's the one advantage.
The one advantage.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, look, the other advantage is not having to spend, between $1,000 to $2,000 every 2 to 3 years or so upgrading your computer so I can still play the highest end games.
Oh, you can get a decent PC for the same as a PS5.
Not the fucking one I bought my son. Jesus fucking Christ. Had to go and sell my ass down in the fucking docks to bloody pay for that thing.
If you know where to look, you can get them cheap.
What, my ass
should do like me, man.
or computers?
Oh, computers.
But yeah, it's, I don't know. We all want the best for DayZ. We just want to see it get a bit more love. And because they play their cards so close to their chest, we've got no idea what's going on. And I understand why they do. You know, the DayZ dev team have copped so much shit, probably more so than any other game community out there. Scalespeed is saying in chat, the DayZ team must be so stretched. There are spelling mistakes in the XMLs for console and PC that have been there for several updates. These are mistakes that affect item spawning incorrectly. And it makes us sad. It makes us really, really sad seeing this game that we all love so much not getting the love that we wanted to get. Not just that it deserves, but that it needs to get. That we wanted to get, because we all, going back to what Blundon said, we all have a special relationship with this game.
Yeah,
sure,
we do. We do. The only thing I can say is, fingers crossed that whenever this Armour game comes out, some people can move their time to DayZ and not just one. That's the only thing you can hope for. Or, you know, I suppose the pandemic probably isn't helping their situation either with hiring new people and all that, because they like to do everything in-house. But if they'd done everything, you know, where you could just do it online from wherever in the world, it'd probably make night and day difference, I'd say.
That's something that would just be such a huge deal if you could somehow work for them without having to physically get up and move country to go and work in their office. I think the game could be so much better, because there's so many people that could work on this game and make it so much better, but the choice is, if you want to do that, you need to leave your life behind and go to the Czech Republic, and no one's going to do that for the sake of a game.
No, and the technology's there now, so they don't have to, you know, do that, you know. So,
and there's so many people in the community that are just incredible at this stuff. I mean, my God, if they just hired a handful of those guys, they'd move forward in leaps and bounds.
Unfortunately, one of the issues there is they want everyone to move to Prague. So, yeah, that's just not viable, especially in today's world with Corona and all the rest of it, or COVID virus. Not a lot of people are prepared to upend themselves and move to the other side of the world, or
even without it, it's still just such a hassle. You know, just for a job, it's such a hassle. But hopefully one day that'll change.
It's just so good if they could just hire some people to just, well, even Mario from chat, he's such a talented developer. He's done so much work in this community and fixed so many issues that the devs haven't done, and he's almost given up at this point because he's kind of tired of the way the devs treat the game in a way. And I'm not sure, obviously, exactly what his opinion is, but just from what I've heard so far, it's that
he's our guest next week, mate, so we'll be talking more about that.
Yeah, that's great. Well, it's just a shame because people like him could do so much for the game that these devs couldn't do right now.
Oh, trust me, you're going to get to see what he's done. It's awesome.
Yeah.
It's awesome. Okay. Time to start moving on with the rest of the agenda. Now, there was a post. Okay, my link is not working. Night of the Witches.
Oh, yes.
Does anyone know what that's about?
Yes. So basically, I'm not sure what the actual. Do you mean IRL or in the game?
Well, they talked about it in a DayZ post.
Yeah, so it's sort of a tradition in real life, I guess you could say. It's quite common in the Czech Republic as well that they sort of burn these like witch effigies. I'm not sure exactly 100% on the backstory of it, but the in-game event is pretty much that there's a new thing in the fight, it's called a bonfire, and it's basically just this big burning tower, and there's a scarecrow at the top of it, and it's on fire, and they're going to spawn randomly throughout the map, and around them there's some new cosmetics, so there's like witch hats and witch hoods and cauldrons and broomsticks and stuff that are going to spawn all around it.
I've actually
And
spawned
that's
them
pretty
in
much what they're doing.
on stream. The bonfire's pretty good. It's massive as well.
Mhm.
Yeah, they're just like hats and masks and stuff like that you can kind of put on and wear around. And these bonfires are really cool, especially at night. Really cool looking.
Yep.
Someone's saying giant spiders. Fuck that shit. That is the one fucking thing that scares the crap out of me, is spiders. Oh my fuck. Well, anyone who's watched me stream knows I jump at
It's just not good for someone that lives
at
in
anything,
Australia, is
but
it?
yeah, when it comes to critters, spiders scare the absolute crap out of me.
I'm the same, man, but I live in Scotland, so we don't need to deal with anywhere near as much as you Australians do when it comes to crawling creatures.
We get a few in the summer, and that's about it.
Yep.
Hang on. I know you're wanting to quickly, so if you want to see these, I have a video of all of these bonfires and stuff. If you want to see it,
Yeah.
on this video, go to 1 hour 7 minutes 53 seconds, and you can kind of skip up. You'll see the witch hat. I think there's a hood at a bonfire there as well.
1 hour what?
1 hour 7:53 seconds. Or around the 50-second mark.
Then witch's hat, which is very stylish. What else, sir? In your opinion, is DayZ the best survival game? Yes.
Might have been a bit biased there.
Is the witch hood it? That it? Crooked
That's always
nose.
the right answer.
Crooked nose. What the? Oh, what the hell?
Ha!
Wow.
That's pretty awesome.
This looks like Cairo.
Cairo.
Is there anything else? Bonfire? UNFI. Oh, what is this?
Oh,
Oh,
that's cool.
whoa.
Yep.
Oh wow.
It did
Slightly
kill my
laggy.
FPS for a minute.
Yeah.
I do change
I
it
go
night as well.
get on DayZ. Check the group chat once you're done role playing. I will do.
I think there's
I'll be on soon.
63
I'll check it at
of
least
them
soon.
that are going to spawn
Yeah, that's pretty
randomly
cool.
throughout the map when the event comes. And they just spawn all the new witch clothing round about it at the bottom of it.
Hopefully they don't kill
Pretty cool.
FPS like
Can
that.
you test zombie AI? I'm not going to
If
this
you,
stream.
we
This
spawned
was
them
just
in
kind of
the
test
Comic
silencers
Crew
and stuff
servers
like
and they were
that.
fine, didn't really impact FPS at all.
Okay, might be just offline mode. Oh yeah, I do it in nighttime as well. They do really like light up the area.
It looks really nice. I like
Yeah,
it.
they do.
I'm looking at your temperature gauge, seeing if it's going up near the bonfire.
That's one thing I actually didn't check. I don't think it did.
No, it does.
Did
Yeah, see, yep, it did.
Oh yeah. Attention to detail right there.
That'd be great on the Melsk.
The,
Yeah, you don't say it.
Have a load of them. Perfect. Yeah, that was it. Then I think that was all. That was kind of it. There was like a hood as well, but
yep.
Yeah.
just like a standard black hood. That was all.
Damn. Okay, that looks like it's going to be a fun little event. The little things like that, I love them doing. You know, just to mix it up. I know a lot of people didn't like the Easter eggs thing. I thought it was a great idea. And that's
People
coming
love
from,
them.
again, a
People-
hardcore survivalist, Marks. I thought it was just something different and something
Yeah.
fun.
People were angry that they weren't in the actual stable game.
Yeah, I missed it. It looked really cool.
Yeah, they were cool, but it would have been too overpowered if they put that in the stable
Yeah.
game.
Yeah, like
They
trapping
are
a
in the
zombie.
files
In it.
though, so you can spawn them if you want, but in
Yeah,
vanilla
yeah.
they won't spawn.
You know, for the right server, go for it. Apparently, Rudy was telling me, mate of mine, that people were on a Esker map using them and capturing animals and taking them to the zoo and deploying them inside the cages.
Yeah, it's just could do that.
But yeah,
Every little thing brings out the creativity in the player.
yes.
Right.
Okay, so we had a post from Asmondian. Time to update the DayZ tips. Background artwork by Dr. Desync. But again, he's such a fucking legend, this guy, isn't he?
Oh, is this the new damages?
Yes.
Oh, I've not actually seen this. This is nice.
I saw it, but didn't get a chance to actually look at it.
Oh, very nice. That's really helpful, actually. I've not seen this before.
Sorry, I don't think it's Is it damages? No, it's
Probably adding the new Pioneer rifle to the calibers, I think, is it?
yeah. So I imagine that'll be
Oh,
coming
okay.
soon. Also,
Yeah.
remember, folks, he does have a page on Wobo's website as well. So make sure you check that out
Such
as well.
a shame. They put so much work into that and everything's changed so much now, Wobo, and everything's going to need to restart.
Mate, I do not envy being Wobo right now.
No.
He is just probably pulling his hair out with all of the work that he has to do.
Everything he does is so in depth and so incredible. It's just such a
Yeah.
waste.
Fuck's sakes.
It was one of the things I done in my update video was because we knew all the damages, the change and stuff like that. I just sent everybody to watch Wobo's video afterwards because I wasn't half bothered explaining how it all works. So
That's
he's
such
great for
It's
all
such a
that.
good change to the game, though. That game, we really needed the damage adjustments for different guns.
Yeah, I think there is still a lot of problems with it, though. I mean, I spend most of my time in streams from people in the Karma crew mostly, so like Taupe and Minder, people like that, even JLK sometimes, and a lot of them are complaining a lot, and I'll see a lot of people in chat that are really, really unhappy with the update because of a few reasons, but it's not far from being good. But right
Mhm.
now, in its current state, I think there's a lot of stuff that's still wrong with it.
Yeah, I wonder will they release a hot patch at some stage
Mm-hmm.
in the next coming weeks? I suppose they probably will to fix a few things.
Yeah.
If you've
I
got a
don't
few
think we
quid
can
spare,
avoid it.
folks, obviously I'm fundraising at the moment, but if you want to do something DayZ related, consider subscribing to Wobo's Patreon. It gives you access to exclusive areas of his website as well. Plus, he does exclusive content for his Patreons as well. He only makes $405 per month from his Patreon, fellas, so that's pretty ordinary. I know he's got subscribers on his YouTube channel as well, but this is definitely one of the best Patreons I'm a part of, folks, so definitely worthwhile heading on over, and I'll post a link in chat for it as well.
I think he really deserves it as well because
Fucking oath he
he
does.
doesn't even really need to. He doesn't play the game much himself, you know. He's just here to test everything and show
Yeah.
us what's changing. It's brilliant.
Yep,
He's like a DayZ scientist.
Literally.
he is. He is. Now we have a competitor.
Ooh.
Dun dun dun. There's a new DayZ related podcast,
Ooh.
and it was
Who's
actually
that?
pretty fucking good too. I really enjoyed listening to it. That guy Sil,
Oh yeah.
did a podcast with JLK, Sour Sweet, Project Red Tie, and Bubba. Went for about 3 hours, and I really, really enjoyed hearing, everyone fucking likes to make fun of me about being the old guy of fucking DayZ and Old Man and Boomer and all the rest of it. But it was nice hearing a bunch of young fellas talk about DayZ. And not just DayZ, but if you're a content creator, it was a really, really eye-opening interview into some successful people. JLK was on there. He had the biggest video last year, I think it was. And he talked about his rise from a small channel and then his scandal where he was exposed for cheating, and how it changed him and how he's glad it happened, and particularly early on he was able to come back. I appreciate that, Farlon, but there's nothing wrong with getting a different source of information. I was really excited to hear, because it's the one thing I've said many a time. I miss Renee's podcast, the one he did with Super FT LOL, Ultracast. I miss Uncooper's podcast that he did with Rageber and Septic Falcon and other guests, because I'm a DayZ fan first and foremost, and I enjoyed just listening, and it's what inspired me to start this one. No one else was doing it, so I said, fuck it, we'll do one, and we'll keep it doing it. And yeah, so definitely go over to his channel, check it out. I do love his I have to poke fun at him, his thumbnails. He's gone for the classic.
That's a YouTube thumbnail.
Oh, isn't it? But I think he needs to get more stock photos.
He needs some red arrows
instead of constipated and orgasm face. Yeah, definitely some red arrows, and you won't believe what happens next. But he's really going all in. Like, he's doing something that up until Mark's joined the crew we didn't do, and I know it's something I should be doing, but I'm not good at editing. And he's broken up the podcast into small little bite-sized pieces. 4 minutes, 6 minutes, 4 minutes, 7.5 minutes. So for those who don't want to sit through the whole bloody show, they can just watch the shorter versions of it, if they can get past the cringy thumbnails. But they work. I see, like you said, that's a YouTube thumbnail. There's so many people now putting their faces. Should I put my face on the podcast thumbnails?
Absolutely.
I'm not sure about that one.
Want to gain viewers, not lose them.
Up the sex appeal of the podcast.
Oh yeah, I'll take my shirt off. But yeah, no, definitely, it's definitely great. The more people talking about this game and getting some exposure to it, like look at the views he's getting. 2,100 views, 1,000 views. That's just great to see for DayZ as a game. People talking about it. There's the whole podcast, 3,800 views. I'm lucky if I get 200 views on mine. So I think it's a fucking amazing thing that they're doing. I'm not sure how they're going to move forward, what they're going to do with future podcasts, but I'm excited for it nonetheless. So go over to his channel, give it a sub. I think they record theirs. They don't do it live. So that's probably the main point of difference between us and them. So all the best of luck for them. I don't think they need luck. They're all very successful
they're all
channels.
Really great guys.
Yeah.
JLK's just, his channel on YouTube's insane. I think he's by far the biggest as far as YouTube goes, and the comments I've seen on some of his videos are people that don't even play the game that still come and watch his content regularly, because he seems to be the only one giving those really, like, I don't even know how to explain it. It's just his videos just seem to be so much bigger and better than anything else that's there.
I'll tell you how easy he attracts just standard players. A person I know only plays COD, stuff like, didn't even have a PC, didn't know what DayZ was, and then messaged me on Twitter one day going, I've just watched this JLK video. He said it was amazing, and I'm like, it was his first time ever watching the game as well, like, just captures it really well. And his videos are like addicting, like mini movies.
Yeah, really are. He puts so much work into them as well. Like,
Yeah.
I wouldn't say I'm a close friend of his, obviously, but I'm friends with him. So is Chris. We were all mods on his channel, so we get quite a lot of insight into what he's doing a lot of the time. And so much of his time is just editing videos. Like he'll spend months and months editing these videos to make them the best he possibly can, and there's nothing you can do but praise him for it because he's nailing it.
Yeah.
Well, you just saw what I shared on the screen then, guys. To put it in context, JLK's on 357,000. The man who everyone considered the king of DayZ is only on 235,000. And the Running Man's been doing this for years now. JLK's pretty much only exploded on the scene in the last 2 years. And he's just absolutely killing it. I'm the same, Foxy. I don't get to watch as much DayZ content as I would like to, as I used to, but there's no denying JLK is just fucking killing it.
He's one of the only content creators I actually watch. He
Well,
posted a picture on Twitter and said, 5 or 6 of his last videos have each broken 600,000 views each.
4.7 million views on how we ran the richest cartel in DayZ.
Have you seen that one? I think that video is just brilliant. I think that's really, really good. That one. That's really good. You can look at the comments as well on it. It's people that don't even necessarily play DayZ. Like, I think one of the top comments is a guy saying that he's never even heard of the game or something. Yeah, like, don't even play this game, but this was so sick to watch. People just love it so much.
Look at that engagement with the 8,900. 15,000 likes. Do you guys want a part 2 in the future?
I would say if anyone's coming close to matching Frankie, it's him. It's got to be him.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Well,
Sour Sweet, he's pretty great too. I must say, I'm a big fan of his stuff. I like his style, and
I've never met anyone as chill as Sour in my life.
He's so calm
good
all
to
the time.
Listen to. I could just listen to him talk for fucking hours.
Yeah,
look at
I'm a
this.
big fan of that guy.
Yeah, yes, he's got 7 million views on. That's a PUBG video, but his DayZ videos, 5 million. Yeah, 9 million. But that's Arma 3. So that's Frankie territory.
Yep.
I remember Frankie done a behind the scenes video once of how like he makes these his like Arma, I know it's on Arma 3, but it's Arma 3 DayZ videos, and he was saying before he was spending 5-6 grand just to make one video.
Wow.
Yeah, because he'd rent the server, he'd get all the custom mods built for it, everything as well, like, and then they'd do it on that server. It's like the money he was putting into those videos was incredible.
It's nuts.
Yes, by the way, Big Dog, this is a DayZ hat. The only way you can get him is you've got to suck up to the dev team, basically. I will kiss any ass I need to get one of these hats. I'm shameless.
I got to message him and get one for next week.
You just touched on something then that I did want to touch on their podcast. They talked about scripted videos, and someone, one of them, I can't remember who it was, made the comment that it was lazy content. I could not disagree more. Like you just said about how much Frankie would spend on his videos. Plus, yes, it's a lot of time and effort goes into getting enough footage to have the 5 to 10 minutes or maybe an hour in some of these videos case that's worthy of going into a video. But scripters do just as, if not in some cases more, work crafting a video than people who just run around like a maniac and I'll upload that as a video. So I think it was wrong to call it lazy. Yes, there's a whole separate argument about whether they should claim or whether they should have a disclaimer this is scripted or a written story or whatever. But to call it lazy, could not disagree more. But that's all I want to say about the stuff they talked about on their podcast. What do you guys think on that?
I think there's such a bad stigma around the word scripted in DayZ at the moment because of obviously the whole Milo thing that happened a while ago, and a few other people since then, like Cairo has started doing some scripted videos, but even he doesn't like using the word scripted because it does just have so much negative energy behind it. But I think, obviously from Frankie, like a lot of his videos were scripted in a way, but
And he never said they
can
were scripted
make-
at the beginning. People thought it
it
was
can
real.
make such good stories coming from it. But I think it is important, in my opinion, to show if you are scripting to say that it's scripted in a way, because I don't even know why, to be honest. I'm saying because I can't really think of a valid reason why. That's kind of how I feel about it. But
No,
that's
I'm
one
the
of the
same,
reasons
mate.
I
I don't think
JLK's
there's anything
videos
wrong
are
with it.
so great.
It's just
Because JLK's doing it totally organically, and he's getting these videos that are coming close to Frankie's content, and that's all just completely organic gameplay, and it makes you think like, holy shit, DayZ's so much more than it is when you first look at it. If you just put your mind to it, you can do so much in this game.
I'm gonna throw a message out here to someone as well. Milo, the average sniper, if you happen to watch this, get your fucking thumb out of your ass and get back in the saddle, boy. You fucked up.
Yeah.
You did a stupid fucking thing, but JLK is proof that you can move past it. Yes, what you
just
did
gonna
was
say
more
that.
serious. Plus, there was apparently a pattern of it as well. But you're young, mate. You need to fucking get back in the saddle. I still get comments on my spotlight on Milo. Yes, there's people who say, basically fuck Milo, that sort of stuff. But I still get comments, when is Milo coming back? I clip him and I send him to him, but I know his confidence is fucking shattered at the moment, as it should be, but he needs to just get back out. Now, what did you say then, Mike?
I don't think he deserves all the hate he's getting at all. I think at the end of the day, he's just trying to make some fun content on YouTube for people to watch. Like,
He
I
just
don't
did it
agree
in a
with
stupid
the
way.
fact that yeah, exactly. I don't agree with what he's done at all, but some people take it so far, and the fact that people are still talking about him to this day instead of trying to give the boy a second chance to come back and make his stuff better. Like you said, JLK is perfect proof that you can do it and you can grow so much from it, and I think he definitely needs to realise that and come back, because he has a lot of content to be a big part of this community again. He just needs to put his mind to it and get to work.
See, did Milo admit to cheating and all that?
Yes.
Like, did he apologize and admit to it?
Yeah.
There's one of the issues. I highly recommend, if you haven't, go into the DayZ Podcast YouTube channel and watch the spotlight on Milo. It's a fascinating interview, but one of the things that people pointed out is he really did struggle with apologising. I'll let you make your make your own assumption from that, from watching it. But there was comments there like, Boydie pretty much fed it to him that you need to say 2 words. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I agree. I think he did a lot of sort of deflecting and defending instead of owning up to it and raising his hand and admitting that he was wrong and moving on from it. And I think that is probably one of the reasons why people do still talk about him in such a bad way, because if there's one thing people would respect, I would say it's that if someone's wrong, seeing them admit that they're wrong and
Yes.
make it right, then you look at that and you go, I can do nothing but respect that. But when someone messes up that bad and they try and deflect it to something else and try and avoid apologising, then you kind of feel like, is there even any point, like, giving this guy another chance in a way?
I think
I
I
have
even
a real
said to
hard-
him he needs to make a public apology, Blundon, a video. And even if he comes back now, Blundon, I think that's what he should do, is start with a video. Apologize.
Maybe I'm weird and old school about it, but I don't know, man. I have a real hard time getting past anyone cheating, just because of the way I feel about cheaters, I guess.
Oh, look,
It's a bit
if
wrong.
he uploads a video, you can guarantee that even myself, I'm going to be analysing it with a fine fucking tooth comb to make sure he's not doing the same thing again. But Vigilante Gamer, I think it was, when this whole thing was blowing up, he put a post on a Twitter comment I made, that we're not defined by one action of our lives. We are, we're human. We're complicated creatures. We have weaknesses. We have strengths, and barring fucking pedophilia, rape, murder, and to some extent, some of the white collar crime where they defraud people of millions of dollars and people who end up fucking committing suicide. But there are very few things that should define you for the rest of your life. And cheating in a video game, yes, it's an indicator of the sort of person you may turn out to be, but especially when you're so young, especially when you're desperate to make internet fame and get YouTube subscribers and YouTube money and all the rest of it, on the severity scale of pedophile down to stole a cookie from the cookie jar, I put it somewhere around about here. It's nowhere near up here. It's
I agree.
It's a low level thing. He should be held accountable, and JLK still has people bring up that he was a cheater. You'll see it in comments on his videos, won't you, Mike?
Yeah.
How did you use ESP again this time, buddy, and stuff like that, or radar, or whatever it was he was using.
We get stuff like that so much. Like, we've had to ban people in his chat sometimes because they come in and they spam messages saying that all his videos are fake and that he's hacking and all that, and that everything he does is just
People
completely
just do that
fake
out
and a
of
fraud
jealousy.
now. Yeah,
I
100%.
get those comments from time to time as well. I've never even scripted a video before. I wouldn't even know where to start. And people just say that. But I think what JLK's cheating thing is he apologized, got on with it, and that was the end of it. I would bet 60, maybe 70 or 80% of his audience wouldn't even know he cheated before.
Yeah,
I think that is a good
Easily.
point about
Maybe
Milo,
more.
though, is that I forgot that he was cheating in a sense because there was other players on the server. I think, like
He's
Boydie
ruining
says, that he
people's-
is due an apology. If he's going to come back, he should own up to it and apologise.
Yeah, but honestly, it might be too. Well, I don't know if it's too late from now, but I don't even know how he'd.
Yeah,
I don't know, because that video would just be a mess.
that Milo
'Cause it,
spotlight
like,
was great,
I-
actually.
still
just
has
went on his most recent
111,000
video.
subscribers on his YouTube channel.
Wow, I didn't know he was even that big.
I went on to his
crazy.
most recent video, and his comments are disabled.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so like, if he was making apology to it, he'd have to have all that on, but I don't think he would. Especially if they're disabled now,
It's a
Um,
shame. Such a shame.
It is. He's a very talented boy, and I just give it a fucking shot, mate. What have you got to lose? Yeah, you're gonna cop some fucking hate, but you're copping hate already. Just put a fucking video out, apologizing first, then put out a fucking gameplay video, and make up your mind then. At the moment, you're locked into one decision, and that's hiding from everyone. Yeah, 211,000 views, 320, 60,000, 425,000 views, 657, 818,000 views. Yeah, I would kill for those fucking views.
Yeah, exactly. I was gonna say, like, if you're missing out on that, like, you can see his potential. He just needs to come back and make it right.
But maybe he's moved on entirely, and he's got a job now or whatever. He might be completely gone from it and have no interest in it at all.
Yeah, true.
Which can't blame him for that either.
Yeah. Oh. Now this has been a hot topic this week. I did a Twitter poll around this. Are infected too hard now? Now, yes, I only have a short reach. 107 votes. No, overwhelmingly 74.8%. Yes, 25.2%. Marks, you've done a video on this as well, mate. I'll let you have first say on this.
The first video I done on this was the first day I had experienced the new zombies. It takes a day or two to get used to them, get the feel for them. But after that day or two, like, I was running around with a pipe and I was killing zombies in 3 hits. And then what I did was I found an MP5, a suppressor, got a couple of 30 round mags with me, and every time I just saw a zombie, I was just popping them, if they were in my way, and that was it. And, because the way suppressors work now, you can shoot them, and then, zombies won't react. So it was quite easy for me. I could see how new players can struggle with it for sure. But again, it's just a learning curve. You'll get it in 2-3 days, and then you're good to go again. It just takes that bit of, people love to hop on for half an hour, then get hit by a zombie and be like, okay, fuck these zombies, I'm going to give out, uninstall the game, blame the devs, all this stuff, #dead game, all this stuff. And it's just like, well, you're not giving it a chance. Give it the day, give it 2 days, give it a week, a month even, and then you get used to it. people just love to complain.
See, I think there needs to be, like you said, people need to realise they have to change the way they were playing. You can't just, particularly on a map like the Molsk and Vorkuta, where they're just everywhere. You can't just run through the middle of them all now and punch them out, stun lock them, and all the rest of it. But Blundon, this is a good point raised here by PFT Clumsy. The changes in zombies slowed the game, especially in the Molsk map where zombies are more aggressive and concentrated. But it's kind of stupid that .22 caliber can one-shot zombies, but not a sharp splitting axe. There is no sense in that. Now, we know that the infected, where you hit them makes a difference. I love the fact that you can stealth kill them now, Blundon, but I don't understand why a headshot with a splitting axe still doesn't one-shot them.
Yeah, I think it should be, at least if it's timed right, like there was always that sweet spot where you could hold shift to get the big swing and take them out with one hit. I think that should still apply. I do love the whole creep up behind them, stealth kill in place. I really dig that. Like, I love that they're hard because it adds that whole new tactical level movement and planning your route, and you got to use strategy a lot more than just they're like a non-issue, non-threat.
See, the thing I don't get is people are asking for tougher zombies.
Yeah.
I like it.
Devs are like, okay, we'll give you tougher zombies. I like it too. I'm a fan of it. Devs are like, we'll give you tougher zombies. Tougher zombies come out. People are like, we don't want tougher zombies. Why are you giving us these tough zombies?
People
you can't
hate
win.
change.
They hate change. Exactly that. They hate it.
Yeah.
It's like,
This is not what I'm used to.
Don't ask for the change if you don't want to, if you don't want to get used to it, or you're going to hate on it. Just doesn't make sense. But
I really like it. I think the harder the better.
Yeah.
Right.
I love this comment here. I like the fact that the Mark II pistol is so useful now. You get so many rounds in a box of 22. It's the gun that everyone used to just ignore is now the perfect thing to be grabbing now and just taking with you and just slowly one-shotting your way around town. Someone in my chat earlier said it's going to be great for them because they're not a PvPer. So if you don't PvP all the time, you're never going to be good. But even myself, I found a box of 22 and I found a amphibia or the Mark II and a mag, and I was shooting more than I normally do because the suppressor actually works on the amphibia now. And I was practicing getting headshots, and a couple of times I potatoed, but a couple of times I was I nailed 2 in a row with headshots, probably about 30-40 meters away from me. So that's a great aspect of it, Mike.
See, I actually voted yes on this, and I'm sure you saw the comments in the Discord yesterday, but I don't think they're too hard to a point where they're difficult to fight. There's my comment there. I don't think it's the difficulty. I think it's just the aspect of it being fun for the game, in my opinion, because I think shooting them more makes sense, I guess. Like you say, using things like the amphibia, a gun that would never really have gotten used before now has a pretty viable use for it. I think that's great, but I think the melee mechanics in DayZ are just so clunky and awkward that it's never been fun for me, and I've never met anyone who's ever enjoyed fighting zombies. I've never had an experience where I've had to fight off a bunch of zombies and then after it I've sat and said, oh, that was fun, I really enjoyed that. That's never happened to me because melee and zombies is holding right click, spamming left click and spinning round in circles. To me, that's the way I see it mostly, because the AI is so bad that the zombies are ducking around you and they're running around you, and the melee, you do that slight little nudge forward every time you swing, so you're constantly like changing direction, moving forward when you don't want to, and you're just spamming all over the place. I don't think it's a fun mechanic at all.
Because you're talking about the discussion in the Discord. I've got it up on my screen now. You guys can just jump up to the podcast suggestions channel to see it in there. But it was a good discussion. And one point that was raised in here was that this is my son actually said this to me as well, that what they've done is an easy buff of infected, rather than doing something a bit more challenging like the ability to break down doors and so on. All they've done is made them, physically tougher. Basically, added hit points, added, a kind of a clunky way of making them a bit tougher. I like the fact that they have. The server I had and the servers I like playing on have infected everywhere. So I'm kind of used to stealth crawling my way around town. It doesn't bother me. Where the people who are suffering the most, I think, are the run and gunners. The sort who don't like having to dick around and that, the tope wrecks, the minders, the sort who'd love to just get into the action as quick as possible. Because
I think it's just the actual gameplay. Like, I think the concept of it, like I said that in the Discord, the concept of having zombies be a bigger part of the game, 90% of the players would say, yeah, that's great. Like, it is a infected themed survival game. Of course they should be a big part of the game, and they should be a bigger part of the game than they were previously, but I think the way they've done it right now is taking away the fun for a lot of people. I know a couple of my mates on console have been complaining about it so much to the point where they're thinking about quitting the game, and I think that's way too extreme. I don't think they're anywhere near as bad as that, but some people think that because, like you said, anyone who's not really a PvE type player where they just want to kind of run and gun is now being forced to deal with these tougher zombies in a way that, in my opinion, like I said, isn't fun. Like, there's no fluid animations, there's no nice sound effects or nice tactics. I still don't think the stealth mechanics work very well at all. Like, you can throw an item to bait a zombie, but all it really does is make them sort of half aggroed, and then they see you from miles away because they're in that half aggro state. And I think it could be improved so much more than just simply giving them more health.
Now, we had a comment in chat. Chris Kapow wanted me to ask you, Mike, do you feel Tope jumped the gun with not playing the game prematurely? How he's apparently stopped playing and he's now playing Hunt Showdown. I would love to discuss this further, but I would rather not because Tope is not here. If Tope was here, I would love to discuss it with him. But, Mike, do you know Tope well?
I don't know him well, but I've spoke to him a couple of times over the last few days about the update, and I know his opinions on it and why they are, and I agree with him for the most part, so I could kind of share his main
I'd rather
like,
not. I'd rather not. Tope has a certain play style, and I'd rather have this conversation with Tope directly rather than get a third party. He's made his opinions pretty clear on Twitter, and if I go back to one of the points he raised, I actually was chatting with Tope publicly on Twitter about the issue with uncon status, and his point is valid. I agree with him, and this is a guy who maybe he has jumped the gun a bit, but this is a guy who makes a living from playing this game, and when it changes, it's a big impact on him as an individual. Now, I asked for an elaboration on this tweet from him because I didn't quite understand what he was talking about, and Jake actually replied. Very briefly, Tope disagrees with the changes to the amount of shock damage that is dealt to players who get hit by high caliber rounds. I agree with him. Dropping uncon after taking a single shot to the vest isn't a good change for gameplay. I replied with just trying to clarify, wasn't there something Adam Franco said about the footage you may be referring to being offline mode and that it's different on servers? No, Tope replied, no, I tested it with admins on a normal server and in combat tonight. I said I would guess that they would fix this with a patch. Vest should offer protection on that. I agree. That's all he's concerned about. If you have a ballistic vest, you shouldn't go uncon. And I agree. To an extent, I still think if you get hit by a Mosin round, then but I temper that with the whole going back to his initial point. Let's not forget it's still a bloody game, and games need to be fun, not annoying. So I see his point on this issue, folks. It might surprise you, but I agree with Tope. There needs to be a balance.
As well. Yeah,
there needs to be a balance, but couldn't he have not gone about it a better way? You know, like make his points clearer so that maybe the devs can see it or something like that.
It's a 280 words limit. Again, without
Well,
trying
I
here to defend himself. Maybe he could have done a twit longer or something like that, but yeah.
What I will say is that I know him and Minder both spent a lot of the time talking to the devs privately about this. It's not just his public tweets that the devs have seen him. Minder and Scotty, for example, the PR manager, sat down for hours just the other day and talked about it a lot and how they could make the system a lot better. And Scotty's promised to take that feedback back to the team, so they are doing more behind the scenes that we can't really see.
See, that I'm not going to lie, that concerns me.
Yeah.
I would like to know what was said, because there needs to be a counterbalance. That's one thing I love about the podcast, Mike, is we're public. I've read some of the comments, not so much on my videos. Mostly on my videos, people are pretty nice to me because I'm a nice guy and everyone loves me. But on Mark's videos, oh my fucking God, I have been roasted hard by some people. Who's that loudmouth fucking Aussie and things like that, and just people who don't know me, don't know anything about me. But we make our points very, very public. There is plenty of opportunity for people to lodge a counter argument. When stuff is happening that, we don't know what the feedback is, that concerns me. That really does concern me. I would love to know, they should do something like that live on stream. Have those conversations, so that, I always say on this show, guys, that you've got to remember that content creators play the game differently to a lot of people. Yes, there's a lot of people who imitate content creators, but content creators, for the most part, are generally looking for non-stop action.
Mm-hmm.
That is true.
So the average player
issue that he has with the patch is just that you're going unconscious in so many points where in 1.11 you would have been perfectly fine, which I can agree with as well, because like the one shot from the sniper is, if you got hit once by a Mosin with a plate carrier in 111, you'd be fine, yellow health, you keep going. But now you're getting dropped unconscious, and that's a lot of the time that's the fight done. Someone's going to run up and tap you in the head before you can wake up,
again,
and that's it done.
That I do not care about. That I do not care about, because at the moment you get one tapped and you're dead. Yeah. At least with the uncon status, it's still. We've been very vocal on the podcast. I don't know how many of you guys have watched, but we've been very vocal on here about the need for this uncon status to be revamped. Because
I completely agree.
Yeah,
I think
now it comes down to a choice. Now you get that moment of suspense of, fuck, I'm uncon. Is my teammate going to finish him off, or is this guy going to come over and finish me, or is he going to... The issue comes back to the thing about vests.
Yeah, I agree. I love the uncon status. I think it adds such a great intensity to it when you're not dead, but you're unconscious and you're hoping to wake up and, pull out that pistol and save yourself, or, I absolutely love it. But yeah, it does need a tweak.
The amount of interaction we've had, we played it for 2 days, the amount of interaction we've had when we wouldn't usually go over, if somebody's unconscious, we tie them up, resuscitate them, and then you'd either talk to them, question them, see what they have on them. There were some times where, we tied people up and they'd wake up and they're just like, fuck you, and all this, and then we just punch them to death because they just don't deserve it, but there's so much more interaction when people are knocked out. Yes,
I think... Sorry, go on. No, sorry.
There does need to be a balance. Like the Oncon system is implemented. Now it's just to see, maybe they're gathering stats at the moment, who knows? Maybe now they just need to see what works best and what vests and stuff, and maybe a hot fix down the road, or maybe 1.13 there might be a completely new system there now because they'll get the stats for it. We don't know.
Yeah.
Like when sneakers wore out within 15 minutes.
Yeah.
I think like you said, that everyone sort of wanted unconscious to be a much more bigger part of the game, because previously it was pretty much you're either dead or alive 90% of the time. You get hit once and you're either perfectly fine or you're completely dead. There wasn't really many circumstances where you'd be going unconscious, and I think it's great that you are going unconscious more now, but the issue that these guys have with it is that you're going unconscious too much. So even, for example, if you get shot in the leg by a Mosin or any 308 or 762 by 54, one, your leg's going to break now, and then two, you're also going to be unconscious. So if you're wearing the best armor in the game, you've got the best helmet, the best vest, the only place you can get hit by a sniper without going unconscious is the arms, which I think that's just too much in my opinion.
So maybe they need to reduce the shock damage. Because it's the shock that knocks you out, right? So maybe they need to relook at that for each
I think
weapon.
it'd be a great mechanic if they would just make it so that the plate carrier will reduce the amount of shock you take, so that if you have a plate carrier, you can take a shot without going unconscious. But maybe
see,
if you have a
this
stab
comes
vest, you
down
go
a lot
unconscious from
to
one shot.
the server that you're playing on, in my opinion.
Yeah.
If you're playing on a server where there's an abundance of high-tier ammunition and weapons, then it's going to happen to you more, and you shouldn't really be complaining about it. If you're playing
100.
on a more hardcore server where that stuff is rare, then, see, again, for the likes of Taupe and Minder and that, those guys are going to be dishing out a hell of a lot more uncon statuses and deaths than they're probably going to be receiving, because those guys are gods of PvP. Their skills are insane level. For me, I'm going to be lucky to hit you in your little toe if I fire a full mag at you. So they're playing on servers where this is something that's got to be remembered when they look at balancing this. For the servers I like to play on, it sounds like, other than the issue with maybe the ballistic vests and so on, it sounds like it's pretty damn good for me. That said, I'm not a PvPer. I don't have a lot of skin in that game. But for the servers where everyone just runs around shooting each other, it's, you're choosing to play on this type of server.
We were playing on modded server. Everybody either had 5.56 Mosin ammo or 308 coming out of DMRs.
Yeah.
I got knocked out God knows how many times by 308 to the body. I've also knocked numerous people out. I've one-tapped people also in the chest with 308. It varies so much, and I was like, obviously we're going to get knocked out a lot more. We're being shot with 308. Everyone on the server is 308. The loot is insane. So I think the devs look at it because they're implementing it for the vanilla game. The vanilla game is completely different to a highly modded PvP server. It's night and day difference. So I think people need to realize that they're making the game based on the vanilla stats and not, not like people are running around with 338 Lapua snipers and Barrett 50 cals and 50 BMG ammo and Shaytax, and they're wondering why they're getting knocked out all the time. It's because they're playing with custom ammo and weapons that are not meant to be in the game at all. And I just think people sometimes forget that, it's a modded server and they're building it for vanilla, and it's night and day difference.
Yeah, I mean, I think, like I said, the update's not far from being good. I think there is just a couple of things they should tweak, like, for example, the ballistic vests. And in my opinion, you shouldn't go unconscious from a leg shot either, because getting your leg broke by the shot is already enough of a punishment, and I think that's quite a fun mechanic. I've always wanted to see broken legs come back properly, so
it's good,
I can imagine you're running through a field, someone takes a shot, the shot hits you in the leg, now your leg's broke, and you're rolling, you're trying to find cover, you're trying to fight back. That sounds fun to me, but right now what's going to happen is you're going to get shot in the leg, you're going to go unconscious, and your leg's broke, and by the time you wake up, what the hell are you going to do? You're sitting there, you've just woke up, your gun's on the floor, you've got a broken leg, you're pretty much done for it. I think it'd be so much more fun if you didn't go unconscious from a leg shot from the start. I think that's just...
I'd be very curious to hear from someone, because like I haven't gone uncon once yet because I avoid PvP, but I'd be very curious to hear how similar it is to the old .62 and before days now. Is it the same sort of rate of uncon, or because that was almost perfect back then? It didn't happen all the time, but you could usually maybe tank a shot or two, and then you went uncon. Your blood loss might drive you uncon, and you bled out for a while, but Just quickly, thank you so much for the raid, Wobo. Really appreciate it, mate. If you haven't, fucking who doesn't know who Wobo is? Go give him a follow. He does do his science on stream, and yeah. We were just saying, Wobo, how insane you must be right now, mate, with the changes to 1.12. You must be just how are you going to fit in all of the updates you need to do? But yeah, but today's show's just it's been a monster one. Yeah, it's just I don't know. What do you think, Mike? Oh, Marks, go ahead.
Can I just put in one thing quickly? When you get knocked out in this version of the game, I've noticed you rarely bleed. Rarely bleed. I don't think I bled once when I was knocked out. It's just the shock damage that's knocking you out. I've been flashing red health. I've never been cut once when knocked out.
Yeah, that's because of the armor again. So the bullet's actually stopped by the armor. It doesn't actually hit you.
Yeah,
but
it's just all the shock.
I think that's kind of why. What we found from testing it. Obviously, I'm no Wobo. I didn't spend years testing things, but I did get a decent amount of time to test some stuff, and it's pretty much if you have a plate carrier and you're shot in the chest by anything, there's not really any circumstance where you're going to die before you go unconscious, which is good in my opinion, but it is the main thing that these guys are complaining about, like Taupe and Minder and all them, is just that you go unconscious so fast to a point where you would have been fine in 111. Like, you shoot someone twice with an M4 in the chest, they're unconscious, twice with an AK, they're unconscious, once with a Mosin, they're unconscious. And it sort of makes you feel like, almost what's the point in having the best armor in the game if you're going to get dropped unconscious and 90% of the time 1 or 2 shots.
Yeah. Like
I think it needs to be toned down just slightly, so not back to what it was before, because you would barely ever go unconscious before.
Yeah.
But it's just slightly too much right now.
Like, I have a perfect clip of that, like exactly what you just said in my most recent video. I'm shot by a DMR right in the chest. I have a plate carrier on. My stun goes back, and then my character falls to the floor, flashing red health, not a single cut. Just after
yeah, that's another thing actually, is the stuns. So right now the only calibers that stun you are the 308 and 762 by 54. And by stun I mean that animation where your character sort of stumbles back and you get shot.
And they really stun you as well.
That will only happen now if you go unconscious after it as well. If that makes sense. So if you're shot by a Mosin or a Winnie, you're going to stumble and then you're going to go unconscious. So that there's not going to be any point where you're going to stumble and then not go unconscious after it. And it sort of just, it makes the stumbling completely useless. Like, what's the point in having the stumbling in the game? Because you're going to go unconscious immediately after it anyway. So that could be a decent way to balance it, would be that if you get hit by a Mosin when you're wearing a plate carrier, maybe you don't go unconscious, but you do stumble. If that makes sense.
That could work. But then they kind of need to work out the stumble, because when you're stumbling, you can't shoot. So they need to balance that then as well somehow, or maybe not. Maybe that's just how the effect of it goes. Because I guess if in real life, if you were shot in the chest with a plate carrier and had a 308 on, you'd be stumbling as well.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but I don't really like the real life argument, I guess. Like, of course, it's important to be realistic in a game like this, but I would argue it's more important to get a fun balance for the game than to be completely stuck to realism.
Yeah. I mean, if they want to, if you want to talk about realism, back to the uncon status thing with the AKM ammo, the values just seem weird. I don't understand that they're, what was it? It was about the same as 5.56. Yeah,
so they changed. I don't actually know what the damages are now. I don't know if Wobo could maybe tell you, but they changed the damages of 5.56 and 7.62 to make the damages different. But the shock's the exact same. They're both going to drop you unconscious with 2 shots. So again, what's the point? Or for example, the AKS 74U, that now does quite a lot less damage than the rest of the ARs, because the bullet's coming out a lot slower. It's a shorter barrel. It's going to do less damage. But that still drops you unconscious in 2 shots. So it's kind of, it's like they're taking a step forward and then a step back at the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's weird.
Ultimately, this all comes back to it would have been great if they put up some PvP deathmatch servers and said, "Hey, at it, this is what we've done."
Yep.
Maybe work with a Wobo to get the information out there, Wobo and Asmondian, in a easily digestible format for everyone, so they can understand it and they can give feedback. This doesn't seem right. This doesn't seem right. This is great. I would personally love to see it that the calibers are all. Each weapon is a bit more unique. AKM ammo, 7.62 by 39, should be heavier than 5.56, but it should come at a penalty of increased weight for a 30-round mag and the rifle, plus increased recoil.
I was just going to say that. I think pretty much every AR and DayZ should have more recoil. Like the M4, you rip the carry handle sight off it, and you've got this insane meta beast of a gun where you can spray a 60-round mag and it barely moves, and there's nothing to really stop you just rinsing someone that's anywhere close to you. I don't really feel like it fits much in a game like DayZ. I think because your character's not a military specialist. He's not going to be someone that's had trained experience shooting a rifle like that. It's going to kick more than most people would handle it. I think there just needs to be more recoil in pretty much everything. So I think, like you said, the AKM should hit harder but have more recoil. The 5.56 should do slightly less damage, there just needs to be a bit more diversity in it than what it is right now, I would say.
Buddy, do you remember you were saying that Scum has character progression? Is it where you can give points to certain things? So is there a case for in DayZ where there is a character progression for your PvP skills, for your shooting skills, for example? So everybody starts off on a blank page. Everybody's terrible. Their gun control is terrible and all that. But over time, the more PvP you do, the more shooting you do, whether it be hunting, killing people, whatnot, slowly goes up and balances out the guns. Or is that something that would work in the game?
I like Scum's approach purely because it's different to DayZ. I think one of the big selling points for DayZ as opposed to Scum is everyone is on an equal playing field. It comes down to your own innate ability as a PvPer, how well you've learnt the mechanics, whereas Scum has both a little column A and a lot of column B. A little column A is your own innate PvP skills, but then a lot of it comes down to how long your character's been alive and how well you progress with certain weapons. So I would not like to see that come into DayZ. I like that DayZ is a blank canvas, and it comes down to ultimately it comes down to get good.
Yeah, true. Yeah,
good point.
Yeah, there's nothing against Scum's ways. That's one of the things I like about Scum is they're doing things differently. They're not trying to just be a carbon copy of DayZ. But yeah, I much prefer it the way it is. It's I know if I go into a PvP battle against pretty much 90% of the player base, I'm going to die. To be honest, that makes it all the more rewarding when I come out on top. You'll see a reaction from me if I was to kill someone in a PvP fight that you wouldn't get from a Taupe or a Minder. For them to just be Minders, I think is GG. That's about all he says when he kills someone now. I kill someone and it's and that's what I love about DayZ. I don't want the game to make it easy for me. I'm either going to get good or I'm going to keep dying. But when I get those sweet, sweet, sweet PvP victories, it's something I remember.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think more recoil is definitely something I would like to see in the game. I'm just thinking about it when you guys were talking there, like the guns, like the FN FAL, the LAR it's called in game, like a fully automatic 308 rifle, and it barely moves. It barely moves at all.
Mate, I have fired that thing IRL, admittedly not in full auto mode, but trust me, it kicks like a mofo.
Yeah.
You've learned to respect that rifle.
Exactly.
It scared the living bejesus out of me because I'd only ever fired a 22 rifle before that, and then straight away I'm up to this bloody 308 caliber rifle, and it hurt when I was first shooting it. To shoot that thing on full auto, mate,
Yeah,
you would need to
exactly.
have guns the size of Arnold
Exactly.
Schwarzenegger.
And it's even worse thinking about it in the context that your character is literally just some random guy that's washed up on the beach.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right, give me a sec. You guys
I
keep
have a
talking about this
file,
topic. I'm
shoot
just trying
straight
to do a giveaway. I've got to do some giveaways of game codes.
I think
I have a feeling in the next, I don't know. I have a feeling the next while you'll probably see an experimental update come out. Because I think that they'll probably always put it to experimental before bringing it to the in-game. But you might see something soon
yeah.
come out on experimental for them test stuff. But if they do, for the love of God, get on the experimentals and test it.
Yeah, I think there's been too much backlash from this update for them to just ignore it and wait till the next update.
Yeah.
I reckon that something's going to come at least.
But
I think
if
the biggest issues would just be slightly toning down the uncon stuff. I think
yeah.
the Zeds can be like the Zeds can be how they are right now. That's fine because, like you said, some people that do enjoy the more PvE style and fighting Zeds, they're gonna love that. But for example, servers that are more PvP based, they can just reduce the amount of Zeds spawning on the server. I think that's
the zombies are one shots. Everybody's running around with true eights. You can just one shot the zombie. That hasn't changed compared to
yeah. I feel
older
like that's a
versions.
whole new thing that like I've been talking to JLK about that a lot recently. Is that he usually likes to play on the more modded style of servers compared to sort of lightly modded and stuff.
Yeah.
But he's kind of getting to the point where he's realizing that those servers are just so bad because the people that play them and the people that make them seem to think that bigger guns is going to equal bigger fun.
Yeah.
But in a game like DayZ, that's just not the case because everyone's dying in one shot and firefights are over in the blink of an eye, and you spend hours running up to get one tap to come back and run to the local trader and buy a full new set of guns and get one tapped and run back again. And of course, to each their own. Some people love that, but in my opinion, you're not getting the full DayZ experience playing like that.
No, it's shitty. It's boring more than anything. Like you get that, say, minute to 5 minutes worth of PvP action, and then half an hour of running back again. It's like, ugh,
Yeah, that's why I like the concept of this update so much because I remember it was 1.02. The update was one of my favourites because they had just reintroduced the uncon status back because in 0.63 it wasn't in the game, and they had just introduced it back, and people were going unconscious quite often, and I was shooting people unconscious and taking hostages and getting into interactions that I would have never been in before.
yeah.
And since then, I've not been able to do it because I cannot remember the last time I shot someone unconscious.
Yeah, me neither. Well, not until this update came out. Yeah, I
Yeah.
don't remember the last time.
That's why I think the concept of the update's great, and I'm really excited for them to just tweak it more and make it better because I think it is such an important part of the game, and just making everything more complex as well. Like DayZ is a game that should be so complex, but at the moment, or not at the moment because of 112, but it was just so simple previously. You know, your legs would practically never get broke by a gunshot. You'd almost never go unconscious from a gunshot. It's a game where it's trying so hard to be realistic, and then you take a shot to the face, and all you do is wrap a rag around your arm, and you're perfectly fine. Like, I'm all for making the game more complicated in areas like that. I think that definitely needs to happen.
I think people should definitely be giving feedback to this, but don't be, going out here abusing them, saying it's all shit and boycotting the game.
Yeah.
Just play it, gather information, gather bugs, be like, okay, this doesn't work, this works. Whether you're on modded, vanilla, lightning modded, whatever, it's all the same. Any feedback is good feedback, just as long as you're not abusing them and just being toxic about it. I know there is
the best way to get their attention as well, because if you're just abusing them, they're not going to want to read your point. If you're just shouting abuse at them, it's going to completely invalidate anything you're saying. But if you're coming respectfully and making some constructive criticism, they're a lot more likely to actually listen to what you're saying.
Yeah, like, there's a lot of bigger YouTubers out there that were just complaining, and they just didn't seem to be. I'm not going to name any names, but just seemed to be complaining and just giving out and not giving the criticism that they needed to.
Yeah.
Whether public or private, just give the if you've said it publicly, or if you've messaged them privately, then do you really need to talk about it publicly? Like if you have nothing good to add, just kind of leave it. And
Maybe it's what they do. They
toxicity.
live their lives. And I'm not saying what they do as a dig at them, but they are internet personalities, and they react when they communicate with their fan base, their followers and so on.
Yeah.
And sure, but and Twitter is a horrible medium at times when you're only allowed X amount of characters to elaborate. So many times I've ended up in tete-a-tetes with people online, and it's like I've had to explain. Usually, I've had to explain myself because I've upset someone in the way I worded something. But sure, it could have been elaborated on, but I'm not gonna judge someone too harshly on that.
Yeah.
It's just a good thing there's a block feature. There's quite a few people that have to block over the week.
Man, there is something going on between you and Chris Kapow, Mike. It's some sort of weird, sort of nepotistic relationship with you two.
He's like a mentor in a way, I would say. I hate him and I love him. He's a bit weird though. I think
he is. He's a very weird individual.
He's a bit of a strange one, I would say.
Now, I've just started a giveaway, folks. Please share it. Get as many people in here as possible. You can win one of 5 DayZ or 4 Scum keys. All you got to do is type !raffle and then the number of tickets you want to buy. They cost boomer bucks, which everyone who follows me has some in chat. So enter them, get your points in, and !raffle and then the amount of tickets you want to buy. You can buy up to 40. Subscribers get a bonus 10. We'll draw this at the end of the podcast.
I have 80,000 boomer bucks. I'm about to win all these games.
That's why I put a limit on how many. But yes, you can enter, Mike, you can enter, Blundon, you can enter. You might win a Scum key if you want that. I've got 4 Scum keys to give away and 5 DayZ keys to give away. So I'm certain you all know someone who might want a copy of DayZ. And Scum's also on sale right now, folks, so good time. No, you can only enter up to 40. Mike?
Oh, shit, okay.
I hate to do this, boys, but I got a family thing, so I'm going to have to duck out a bit early. But appreciate it. Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much for coming on, mate. And I'm so glad we've got to start with your story at the beginning, because we've talked a bit of crap about DayZ of late, but at the end of the day, all of this aside, we've all got to remember just how fucking amazing this game is.
Yeah, there's nothing like it, man.
No.
That's why we all keep coming back.
We get so passionate about it because we love it so fucking much. Remember that when you're frustrated with the game. The reason you're frustrated is because you love it so much, because it means so much to you.
Saved me and many others from cracking up, I'm sure.
Yeah, sure has. Sure has.
All right, boys. Well, have a good night.
No worries.
It's been
all
great.
the best, buddy. Thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you, boys.
Cheers. What's Spud saying? You haven't mentioned one of the biggest changes with 1.12. You can now burn fat. What does he mean? You cook by cooking.
That's always been in the. It's always been the case.
No, didn't it? No, didn't it just deteriorate? It went down in value.
Yeah. You're right. Actually, yeah. It would just deteriorate and then despawn.
Yeah. So now you can actually burn it. There you go. Shit, we are fucking just absolutely killing it at the moment. We've still got so much to cover.
Let's change topic.
Yeah, I think we've done that one to death. But the next topic is a fucking doozy. And Marks, I'm going to let you take the lead on this, mate. Essica map release.
Oh yeah. Where to start? It's amazing.
Yeah,
it's they released it on the perfect day as well. They released the exact same day the update came out, and I think that done them really well. The map itself obviously is nowhere near completion. I think anybody who's played the map now knows that, and when that map is done, whenever that'll be, it will probably be one of the best maps the game's ever seen. It's just fantastic. I played it for 2 days straight, and usually, like, you play a map or you play a game for a while and check out the update, and you kind of sometimes you can get a bit bored. But with this one, I just kept wanting to play it and play it and play it and play it. It's just really, really good, really fun. The flooded part of Esker itself, just all of it is just amazing. Really, really nice, and I can't wait to see what.
I'm just showing a few screenshots I took because I jumped on before I started this morning, and it's like nothing I've seen before. It just looks so immersive. I cannot wait. I'm really hoping, and Spud, you're in chat, I'm really hoping you start a DDU Essica map with vanilla loot and that, because it's just the guy Rudy who was taking me around the map took me to the police station with all the fences, and just looks like it was actually, you know, a last bastion of defense during the anarchy and chaos, and then this crowded street where there's like a checkpoint where they've tried to, you know, the apartment buildings. They've made assets that are everywhere in the old maps we play just look completely different.
Yeah.
And I had to get a photo on top of the iconic photo that everyone saw when we were talking about Esker, the flooded police station with the statue out the front of it, and I gave it the big thumbs up. It has so got a thumbs up from me.
Yeah,
just 100%. Impressive.
It's my favorite map now, by far. No way, it's one of the best maps out there. I can't wait to see what it's fully like. You know, give it however many months down the road that'll be when it's all released and everything. It's going to be amazing. It's really going to be amazing. I can't wait to hop on and play it again. And like, I know, buddy, you're not much of a PvP guy. Mike, I don't know if you are, but Essica City is probably one of the most fun places you can PvP, because there's, you know what, like, you go into Chernogorsk or Electro or all that, it's just all kind of the same, but with the city in in Essica, there's so many different parts. Like, you could be PvPing in the zoo at one stage, and then you could be going down and PvPing in the flooded area of the map, or you could be PvPing underground in the city. We were doing rooftop sniper battles on top of the apartment buildings at one stage. And then, you know, you're in the town and you hear shots from the airfield a couple 100 meters across the river, and you start bolting it over there and stuff, and it's great. It's really, really great.
What are your thoughts on it, Mike?
I haven't had a whole lot of experience on it. I played it once and I watched one stream of it, so I haven't seen much, but I will say visually, the best map I've ever seen as far as aesthetic goes. The attention to detail in some areas is just insane. Really talented people making it. It seems that the way they can just turn, because there's not even much new assets in it. It's not as if there's new models or textures. It's all stuff that we've already seen in the game. It's just that they're using it in a way that I've never seen anyone use them in DayZ before. It makes it look so much more run down and so much more detailed, and it looks old. It looks as if it's really been beaten up and people are trying to survive there. But the only issue I had with it, obviously, was the pretty big dip in performance near the city area.
That I did have as well, yeah.
My PC's it's not exactly a beast. It's not bad at all, but it's sort of kind of mid to low high tier, I would say. But I think for a lot of people that really obsess over FPS, it's not going to be a good map for them, I would say. But it definitely has a lot of potential. Yeah. Definitely.
I'm assuming they seem to just kind of release the map and get it out there because people are so hyped up for it. It wouldn't surprise me if in a couple of weeks we'd have an update for that as well, fixing a load of issues, because I know there is a lot of buildings around that are not placed correctly as well. Like, and the map is only 3 days old.
Yeah, it's a first iteration as well. Still,
and it's technically still classed as a public test. It's not even an official release yet.
True.
So, you know, it's not an official release map. It's still in just the testing stages. So it's going to be a while before we get a full polished version of it. But even with this rough version of it, well, I wouldn't even call it rough. It's, you know, it's what would you say, 75% done? Like it's just
The
It's
only,
beautiful.
The only other thing
Yeah.
I would say about it maybe is the flow of the map might be a bit weird. I think the spawn points could be changed,
are a bit
so
weird,
I don't
yeah.
think you should spawn near Essica, in my opinion. I think Essica should be sort of end game almost. That's somewhere you want to go, because if everyone's spawning near Essica, you're going to have a sort of Vorkuta and Namalsk dynamic where everyone's just going to be there fresh PvP all day almost.
That's what was happening. But it's like there was sometimes I spawned right on the airfield on a highly modded server, just run in and get, you know, a rifle and fully geared within minutes.
Yeah, I'm just.
It was
hoping
fun. It was fun for the testing stage, but they'll probably fix them at some stage, I would assume.
I'm hoping they can carry that level of detail throughout the rest of the map as well, though,
Yeah.
because so far it seems like the city and the zoo, from what I've seen, are amazing looking.
Mm-hmm.
And then
Yeah.
you get some sort of rural towns that just look like your standard DayZ town, in a way, which isn't bad. There needs to be some of those, I guess, but I'm hoping to see some more areas that are as nice looking as these ones are.
Yeah. I think there will be. I think again, it just takes, you know, time. God, I don't know how difficult it is to make a custom map, but I'm assuming it's pretty difficult, pretty time consuming. So I'll leave it in their hands. I'm pretty sure that'll be it's in safe hands.
I just am absolutely blown away by the level of detail. Yeah, as I said, yes, I'm not a PvPer, but I can see myself spending a bit of time. I was running around the zoo in particular with Rudy, and as much as I'm not a PvPer, I could see just how awesome. It gave me flashbacks of some of the old Call of Duty maps. Just some of the, you know, because it's kind of a fenced off area, it almost is a bit like a Call of Duty map in some aspects. Just absolutely beautifully done. Absolutely beautifully done. I am blown away by what they've done.
It's really dynamic for gameplay as well, because it's not just like a city in regular Chernarus where it's just going to be almost just horizontal gameplay and nothing else, but because there's so much height in the map that there's so many angles you can get vertically as well, that it looks like it's going to be a lot more dynamic, I guess I would say.
Like we were, you know, I don't know if you know the underground area that's in the middle of Essica. You can kind of go down, it's like a flooded market on the ground. Me and Cairo were standing there, and we had another teammate that was further back, sniping from the apartment buildings, giving us cover as we were going to. And he was able to spot people in the middle of that city and be like, there was a pinging system on the server that we were on, so he was able to ping where the player was, and we would literally just run to the ping and be able to take out people just like that. It was, you couldn't experience that on, you know, Chernarus.
Yeah.
It was really cool.
That said, it did seem to hit performance a bit for me. Admittedly, I was streaming and I did have my graphics settings at high. But even with my specs, I had to drop it down to low to stream and play in Eska. But I can live with that. It's such a fucking amazing location. I can live with having to drop it down. If I want to stream and run around in Eska, that's on me. What was it like being in there when you weren't streaming? Have either of you two been in there when you weren't streaming?
Well, I don't stream personally, so yeah.
What was it like in Eska for you? What sort of settings?
So I run mostly high settings, but my PC is literally, my graphics card's an RX 580, which is the GTX equivalent of like a 1660 or a 1650 almost. So it's nothing crazy at all, and it did get quite bad in some places, honestly, where if I was to do a full 360, the game would even stutter a little bit. It was, I can imagine if you were PvPing for some people that are on systems even worse than mine, that it's going to be pretty much not worth it at all, I would say. I know, do you guys know Dennis? Do you know who Dennis is? His name's Blue's band on Twitch. No, he's just a smaller streamer, but his PC's pretty like low tier, and he was really struggling on it. He he was saying he could almost basically not play it because of the optimization was so poor on it. And I think for a lot of people that is going to be the case as well, because some people are almost addicted to FPS. Like if you're getting less than 60 FPS, for some people that's a big deal. For me personally, as long as it's playable, I'm fine. I don't run with an FPS counter on or anything. I'm not really too bothered. I like to just play the game. If I can play it, I can play it. But for a lot of people, that's just not the case.
Actually, while we're talking about this, right now, I shared it on Twitter. I've been talking about it in my stream. But right now, if you are a content creator or you're someone who likes to record gameplay, what you need to do is, I'm just going to lower that down, is right-click on your dashboard. This is all thanks to Mario. Yes, the amazing Mario, Mike. Go to Display Settings. Then click on, scroll down to Graphic Settings. And this little box here, Hardware Accelerated GPU Scheduling. Reduce latency and improve performance. You'll need to restart your PC to have your changes take effect. By default, this is off. I have had the worst internet. Marks, you know what it's been like for me in the podcasts in the past.
Yeah.
And that box, ticking that one little box, has changed my computer. Like, other than when I got into Essica, because I was running at high graphics and streaming at the same time, my stream choked because I've gone up to a 5,000 bit rate, streaming in 1080. So I'm pushing it. I am pushing it for Aussie internet. But I dropped it down to low and it went fine again. Other than when I'm in a place like that, or Samar in Scum, the main city there, which is also pretty hard. That one little button will change your computer. If your computer has been struggling, check that button is ticked. Yeah, I had people talking to me about RAM updates. Potentially my graphics card was faulty. No, it was just one little button, because I stream and I record and all the rest of it. Heck, I could even probably start looking. I haven't been recording the podcast. I've just been ripping them live from YouTube. I could probably start looking now at recording them because my computer can handle it now. So I don't know. I'll show it one more time. On your dashboard, right click, go to Display Settings, scroll all the way down, click on Graphic Settings, and this little box up here, Hardware Accelerated GPU Scheduling. Make sure it's ticked to on. That's our public service announcement. That gets us into the pearly gates, Marks. We've done our good deed for the day.
Happy days.
But yeah, I am so excited to spend some time running around in Essica, guys. The city is amazing, but I also want to see what else is out there. A part of the attraction for Scum with me was it was a new map that I didn't know. Still don't know it all. But to be able to do this back in my bow, my DayZ, and such a tastefully done job, like that city is just next level good. Next level good.
It kind of makes me a bit sad in a way that Journalist looks so basic. Like, it doesn't really make you don't realize it until you play a map like Essica and then you go back and look at Journalist, and like, in my opinion, Journalist is one of the best maps from any game ever. But in terms of it looking like it's from a zombie apocalypse, not really.
Between Deer Isle and Essica, and now and Namolsk as well, they're really showing what's capable with the map making.
Yeah.
As DOJ just said in chat, Journalist is like 10 years old though.
Yes, that is so good though. Journalist is like, so much has came from DayZ. It's just mind blowing to think like all the biggest games right now, Warzone, PUBG, Fortnite, all those games like that, none of them would exist if DayZ Journalist wasn't a thing.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah, it's true. Very true.
the engine seems to struggle when there's a lot of polygons in one scene. Yeah, I noticed that when I was in Esker. At one point there, it just the zoo wasn't too bad. The zoo was nice, but once I started heading into the main town around the police station, it just
Yeah, that's exactly where my issues started to kick in as well. The rest of it was perfectly playable, but once I was getting near the sort of main town, the downtown area, it was getting to a point where I was kind of like, this is not so good.
Yeah. I had the same issue as well. I was getting between 40 and 60 FPS in those towns, so it wasn't too bad. I don't know I hope there's a way that they can fix that, and it's just like a little bug or something that they have. I hope, but either if not, I'm still gonna play it. So,
What else have we got? Marks. This tweet.
Oh yeah.
You didn't like it. How could you not like this?
Just annoyed me. It really bugged me. It just took me the wrong way. Pissed me off.
I thought it was fucking hilarious. It was a first-rate tier 1 troll. Absolute tier 1 troll. Had some sugar. Gonna go into some DayZ streams. See if I can get kicked for asking why the dude who made it never finished it. Be right back. I fucking cacked myself.
I actually was one of those streams because somebody did come into the stream and was like, "Where's Dean Hall gone?" That actually happened. I banned him straight afterwards.
But it just, the thing that I liked about it the most was it's been kind of a secret, but it is no secret if you follow Dean Hall at all. DayZ was an emotional roller coaster for the guy, is my understanding of the game. He had a vision for it. The game deviated from that vision, and he moved on, and copped a lot of semi-understandable flack. But at the same time, if you were developing something and it started straying from what you wanted, would you want to still be involved with it? Probably not.
I mean, at this point, one of the only OG developers left is Adam.
Yeah.
Sumrak, of course, the lead designer, but so many of the guys have moved on and left, like you said, that I think it kind of shows a lot about what must be going on behind the scenes with Bohemia's direction.
But I've watched interviews with Dean Hall where you could see it in his face, you could hear it in his voice, just how emotional DayZ was from concept through to rollout, and then him deciding to leave the game and all the rest of it. I don't think he made that decision lightly. I don't think it was a case of, yes, he's got a Lambo now and drives around in it, but again, I've never made a secret of the fact that I don't begrudge people making $1 from something they come up with. In his case, he made a hell of a lot of dollars. But every episode, Marks, we always bring up about, today we've been pushing Wobo. Fucking subscribe to his Patreon, you cheap bastards. But I see no issue with him having made bank on a great idea. And from everything I've seen, you look at Glassdoor, and there's some, usually Glassdoor reviews are done by people leaving the company, and some of them may be sacked, so take them what you will. But from everything I've seen, his company is a fucking dream company to work for if you're in the game development business. Unlimited leave. You can take as much leave as you want. There's no set 4 weeks. Like in America, I don't even think they have a set fucking amount of leave that you're obligated by your employer to give you as paid leave every year. He said, take as much leave as you want. If it's going to make you a better employee, people generally, you'll get a few douchebags who might abuse it, but do you think they're going to stay as an employee too long? If they're the sort of douchebags who are going to abuse that, they're going to be shit employees as well. So he's giving back. And this to me was just a sign that maybe, just maybe, he's starting to, embrace DayZ again. I loved it when I saw it. I haven't seen him tweet something like that in quite a while. You go, girl. That was awesome. Fucking loved it. And
I was
the
gonna make it.
the comments were brilliant as well. I heard he took all the money and ran off into the mountains or something. Pretty sure that was some guy called Hicks. Like, even he must have been on something, because there was even a tweet earlier. Yeah, he's watching a streamer.
He's been playing the game.
Yeah,
quite a
this
lot,
one
hasn't he,
here.
as well?
Brian Hicks' tweet at Gary Moon. I don't know how you did it, but you got all my favourite DayZ mod devs doing nothing but talking about how to convince you to give keys to your new project. I'm just hoping we'll still be able to turn our subreddits against each other again. And Dean retweets. Shall I contribute a half-finished game to this challenge? Plenty of mountains for me left to climb. It's just, to me, it says he's in a better place mentally, and that's a good thing. Yeah. Regardless of what you think of the guy, that's a good thing.
Yep.
Go watch a few of his interviews and tell me you don't feel sorry for him at times. Yes, it's hard to feel sorry for a guy who made fucking bank, but don't hold that against him. He came up with a great idea and he got rewarded for it, and kudos to fucking him. And I hope to God we see more of this happen. You know, there's not a lot of companies out there that do that with people who create content for them. You've got Player Unknown. To look at it. Admittedly, I live in a bit of a bubble, but tell me examples in other gaming spheres of people who've made bank from making stuff for that game. Can anyone?
There was a Minecraft mod that done it. No, they're creating their own game.
Yep.
Because they made a Minecraft mod.
Good on them.
Launched their own gaming studio and everything.
There probably is other examples, but we can name two that are related to DayZ and Bohemia Interactive straight away. Love them or hate them, it's a good company to develop stuff on, because you could become a fucking multi-millionaire. Could. Maybe, probably won't, but you could. So yeah.
Brendan Green's a local boy. He's only about an hour away from me.
Ah, that's right. Yes,
really?
Yes. Now, I have something personal that I want to release, and it's DayZ related. No, I'm not going to show you my latest infection or anything like that. That old people always love to show you their latest cut or whatever and stuff like that. Mine is something a bit better. Just got to give me a sec.
Oh God.
What the hell is he doing? What? What? And he's going to try and put the headset on. What a twat.
What are you laughing at?
You.
Put my headphones on.
Yeah.
So what I'm wearing, even though it's my head's too fat to get the chin strap on anymore. I wear glasses now as well. That might have been what was stopping me getting it on properly. Nah, my head's too fat. Need to adjust the chin strap. But this is now an item in DayZ. Not with the badges. I didn't want the badges on there because you need to basically get government approval for the military badges to be in. But I have been... some of you may know I was working on a mod that didn't come to fruition. When I say working on it, I had an idea and then I paid some people much more talented than me to do the real work. Windstride and Dumpgra. But sadly, it was just going to be too costly for me to be able to foot the bill for. Maybe down the line, I might look at bringing it back. But in the interim, I'd paid Windstride a bit of money to do some work. And he said, well, what's remaining? What do you want me to do? I said, well, how about a hat? And he goes, he actually said, I'd like to add something to my clothing pack for you, maybe. And I was like, fuck, man, get my own item in Windstride's clothing pack. Geez, what would I want? Straight away, your head goes to the egotistical thing of, get a Boydie fucking Hoodie. No, I didn't think
T-shirt.
that. No, I didn't think that. Straight away, my mind went to my Slack chat. So I will, give me a second. I'm going to have to change my screen share so you guys can see it as well.
So now, forgive me if I sound ignorant, but is there a difference between that and a cowboy hat, or are they two completely separate things?
Very. Look, the base hat can be turned into a cowboy hat, but this is a military slouch hat. So let me just turn that off. And then if I go screen share, there we go. So that's just the inside of it. That little code there actually takes you to the Wounded Heroes website.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
So, yeah, because it's a military thing, that'll work in the game, and that that's a bit of a, slightly further away shot. But this is what it looks like on someone.
Shit, that's nice.
Actually, kind of cool, yeah.
Holding it in your hand. That was before he put the code on there. A wide-brimmed felt or cloth hat, most commonly worn as part of a military uniform, often, although not always, with a chin strap, became a famous symbol of the Australian fighting man during World War One.
Nice.
That's it when it's wet. And that's the
is
QR
one thing
code.
Windstrike does really well is getting his clothing to look nice when it's actually been like raining in game.
So I'm honoured that Windstride would let me add something to his... Got something in my hair. What the hell is that? Get out of there. Old people. Dust. But I'm honoured that he would let me do that. Really, really honoured. And that should be added to the pack today, or possibly in there now. So if you want, you can add that to your server. Just as something a bit different for characters to be able to wear in game. Now, some people may question the fact that it has a green puggaree and not the khaki one that is more common. That's because my battalion that I served in, the 1st Battalion Royal Australian Regiment, is actually allowed to wear a green puggaree. It makes us different to everyone else. So, yeah, I'm pretty fucking over the moon to have my own item in Windstride's clothing pack. You know, it's, yeah. And the fact that I was able to add a QR code that I know detracts a little bit from it, but it takes people to a good charity, means the world to me. So, yeah, thank you so much, Windstride. That's just me telling Windstride cool. How happy I am to know him, and a little bit of bromance there. That's me and Windstride, kind of bit of, hey bro.
That's really good.
Yeah, that's cool. That is very cool.
He's a good guy. He's a fucking good guy, man.
Yeah.
I just got told to check my Twitter notifications real quick. Oh, look. Howdy. Did he mean this one? So yeah, pretty chuffed. Pretty fucking chuffed.
That is very, very cool. Definitely cool. I always like those type of hats. I know it's not a cowboy hat, but it's similar style, and it's always one of those type of hats I always pick up in DayZ whenever I see him. So
yeah, and it's why I went for the brim up as well, because that's ceremonial. A lot of people do wear them with the brim down, so it's flat like that. But there's plenty of cowboy hats already. I wanted something that added just a little bit of debonair and just something a bit different, and it means a lot to me personally. You know, yeah. I know it's silly, but I'm old and I'm sentimental.
It's quite cool. It's very cool.
Console topic. The state of console servers at the moment is beyond terrible. Xbox servers, I should say, no idea about PlayStation. Mike, you were one of the key contributors in this discussion between you and Melbourne. Explain it to me, mate.
So, I played DayZ on Xbox since the day it released for, I think, 2 years. I only got my PC a few months ago. And community servers when they first came out were great because it offered you a chance to play in servers with more than 60 people. But since those released, I feel like it's sort of hurt the game because all the high pop community servers turned into just these insanely laggy just deathmatch servers where you would spawn on the coast and there would be Saigas and M4s in every single house that you walked into, and it was all about just shooting freshies all day on the coast, and there was no real DayZ gameplay to it. And right before I switched to PC, no joke when I say every single high pop server was like that. There was not a single... No, sorry, there was one NCRP, that's the one I mentioned. That was the only server that I knew that was high pop that wasn't a literal deathmatch server. And of course, I don't know what it's like right now because I don't play Xbox anymore, but I'm still close with a lot of my mates who are. And from what I've been told from them, it's just got worse since then.
Now, he did say at the end here, there was a comment about that the Series S and X have made it a game you can reliably play. I don't know what it's been like with PlayStation 5. Has that improved it?
I couldn't tell you, mate. I have no idea, but the Xbox version has always been ever so slightly more optimized than the PlayStation version, at least from what I've been told. Again, like I said, I haven't played PlayStation, but a lot of my people that I know that have played PlayStation say that it's worse very slightly, and I think that is just because Xbox has had more time than PlayStation has to optimize it, because the game was out on Xbox for years longer than it was on PlayStation, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But apparently the next gen version is a huge step up as far as performance goes. Apparently the game runs consistent frame rates, it's nice, it's smooth, it's a lot more playable, but the server choices, like I was saying here, apparently the community servers that there is to choose from are just rotten.
Because
Absolutely
right
terrible.
now, as I understand it, there's nothing else like DayZ on console, is there?
No, nothing.
But Rust is in beta for console. Scum, when I interviewed Tomislav, said that they will be looking at console post 1.0 release for Scum as well.
Mm-hmm.
DayZ needs to pull its socks up. Sorry, Vigor, but Vigor is a bit more like an EFT game from what I can tell.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Vigor's not great in my opinion.
It's not open survival, I don't think, isn't it?
Yeah, it's the same,
mission-based.
exactly, more like EFT. So you spawn into a raid and you get like 10-15 minutes to loot or whatever, and then you need to extract. It's not open world or anything.
Yeah.
So, you know, there's a danger there for DayZ that if they don't do something to fix... That said, you know, are they of the opinion now next gen consoles are here, we're not going to bother supporting old gen? Like, what's the supply issue like with the next gen consoles? Are they the same? Or is there still the same issues there was at release? There is rarest rocking horse shit.
Yeah.
So apparently, PS5s over here, any PS5s are impossible to get.
Yeah, same.
Xboxes, I'm not sure. I haven't heard anything about an Xbox shortage, but I know for a fact PS5s are just they're like gold dust. They're impossible to get them on.
Yeah. But the game on console is just, it's always been in such a terrible place. Like, I played it for years and I loved it, don't get me wrong. I put close to 3k hours in it. Like, it was pretty much the only game I played for years. But just, there's so much wrong with it. There's so much wrong with the servers. There's so much wrong with the mechanics of the game. Like the fact that every official server on the game is still completely plagued by people duping loot on the coast all day, every day. the fact that that hasn't been fixed yet is just mind blowing. Like that ruined the game so much on console because every time you go into a server, there's tents on the coast full of guns that people are duping, and they're just leaving them lying everywhere. So it just completely ruins.
And those
the servers.
playing the game, that's one of the things I saw the most in comments. Those playing the game seriously can't find anything at the airfields because the server's saying there's already 1,000 fucking M4s. We're not going to spawn on the end. They said you're lucky if you find an SKS and a box of ammo.
Yep, 100%. That's exactly how it was when I played it. That's why community servers were so good at first, because it offered this sort of fresh CLE and people weren't really duping on them because everyone was just so excited to be playing these new servers. But the older they got, the more they just turned into these sort of laggy official servers almost.
I'm assuming it must be. Is it incredibly expensive or incredibly difficult to get an anti-cheat or something? I don't know how. I'm guessing an anti-cheat is how you'd fix it, but it must be crazy, stupidly difficult or either expensive or something to be able to fix this problem.
It must be because, like, the thing is, they've patched so many methods of duping over the years.
Yeah.
But every single time they patch it, people just find a new way to do it a week later. It's insane.
Yeah, it's weird.
I've never ever understood duping in DayZ. If you need
ruins
to
the
dupe
game
in
for yourself.
DayZ, you are playing the wrong fucking game.
Exactly.
Go play
100%.
PUBG, go play fucking Fortnite or something like that, because that's the only reason you could be wanting to dupe. I don't get it. It is. I can understand hacking more than I can understand duping.
Yeah. The problem was so bad on console to a point where it was just before the 1.02 update was the first time they had wiped it in so long, and they wiped it because the coast had got to a point where there was literally hundreds of tents full of landmines, full of grenades, full of LARs, full of M4s, littered all along the coast. There was bases just full of loot that had been duped all along the coast. Every corner you turned, there was a tent full of loot just sitting there. That's just how bad it got, and they've still not fixed it.
Yeah,
it's not as bad as that anymore, of course, but it's still a really huge problem for console.
It must be seriously complicated then. It has to be.
It must be, I agree.
Either that or expensive. Like, I don't see why it would take so long otherwise. Because every time I go live, multiple comments in my stream going, why haven't they fixed dupers yet?
You know what? I guess this comes back to what we talked about before, Marks. The size of the dev team. They probably just don't have the manpower to fix it.
Yeah.
And none of them are console developers either. They're all PC developers, so fixing issues for consoles is not their speciality at all.
That's the thing. Like, when somebody says why haven't they, or asks in my chat why haven't they fixed duping on console, I have no answer to give because I genuinely don't know.
Yep.
When if it's a PC question, I can usually answer it or refer them to somewhere that might have a better answer. But for like that type of stuff on console, I haven't a clue.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's kind of frustrating because you want to be able to tell the people watching you the truth and tell them, some news about it. But yeah, it's really annoying when it's frustrating when you can't tell them the right answer because you just don't know it.
Yeah.
Sad. It's fucking sad. It really is. One other quick thing I'll mention as well. Lashun said we need ADS sensitivity and dead zone on console.
Yes.
Can you explain that?
Yes. Right, so the sensitivity on console is so bad for controllers. There isn't a different sensitivity for like free looking and aiming, if that makes sense. So if you find a sensitivity that's good for your free look, so when you're just looking left and right normally, if that feels nice, when you ADS, the gun suddenly becomes so slow, and there's nothing you can do about that, because if you turn the sensitivity up full to try and make your ADS sensitivity nicer, then your free look sensitivity becomes too high to a point where you can barely move it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's impossible to find a good balance for sensitivity on that game, and like it is really bad. It is really bad.
Yeah, it's annoying. Well, we all kind of knew from the start that the game was not meant to be on console, but maybe one day, who knows?
Okay, what else have we got? We are getting down to the final stages of the show, folks. Sorry, what was this one? Oh, that was about the NCRP stuff, yeah. Oh, yeah, sorry, no. I did want to elaborate on this. So, Nitrado apparently messaged NCRP community about the tech support on performance on their 70-slot server. They would switch server machines for him, but it never improved. They even told him in writing that once you get in excess of 60 players, DayZ doesn't perform correctly. Yet they sell 70 and 100 slot servers. I'm sorry, but that's pretty fucking scummy. That's pretty and this is not just Nitrado. I'm sorry. This would be any provider selling. So the server providers are aware that the servers go to shit once they go over 50 people. Yet and this is not just a console thing as well. This is also for PC. If you're just renting a server, not hosting a dedicated server, there's a sweet spot where people can, once you exceed it, your server's going to start to run like shit, especially if you've got mods on there. Yet, they don't tell you nothing about this. It's just, to me, it's a pretty shitty fucking thing to do.
Yeah, Nitrado for console are absolutely terrible server provider. That's also, again, one of the reasons why I said that the state of the servers on console was so bad, because it's to a point where on PlayStation I think there is a 60 slot server option, maybe, I believe, but on Xbox it's either 50 or 70, and if you go for 70 the server becomes way too laggy to play. Everyone's teleporting, there's desync every 2 seconds, but then 50 slots is such a low amount of people for a map the size of Chernarus. Like, the fact that you need to play on 50 slots for the game to be stable on community servers is terrible.
That's pretty fucking ordinary marks, isn't it?
It is. It's crazy, but look, people are going to buy them because they don't know it's just Nitrado just going to make a quick buck because they can. Who's going to stop them? No one.
I want to do a quick shout out as well. Choco, he's in chat. Choco POS. He is the guy behind the cloned Day 1 servers. He's actually gone and renamed his servers. They're now called Day 2. It's still funny, but I have to give him credit. He changed them. He listened to what we said in the podcast marks. So credit where credit is due.
Good for him.
Thanks for changing him. Now don't ever fucking do it again, you bastard. It was a douche fucking move to do. But credit for changing him, mate. Credit for changing him. And yes, there's the point, Choco. You've got 3 servers full. Yes, I know you would have been battling against the rest of them, but you've still got a community, mate. So focus on that community now, and maybe make an apology to Smoke and the Day 1 team, because it was a shitty thing to do.
That's quite scummy.
But credit for changing them. What did we have next? I've gone past it because I'm a boomer. Mod mini spotlight. I didn't get to find a mod this week. Content creator mini spotlight though. Now, I'd heard these people a couple of times. I actually finally went and checked out their channel, Fresh Spawns. Have you guys heard of them?
Yes.
They're an up-and-coming YouTube channel. Let me just share my screen again. So they're very, very professional is probably the best word to describe them as, Marks. You watch their videos and they are, I wouldn't be surprised if they're going in with a plan, with they've just got there's a dynamic between the 2 guys behind the channel. Two British guys playing video games the way they're not meant to be played. New videos every 6 p.m. Live on Twitch 8 p.m. Every Wednesday. And I've reached out to him to see about getting him on the show. I do have to say, I almost vomited in my mouth when I was watching a video and they managed to segue to a Raid Shadow Legends sponsorship. But end of the day, you know, people got to make a buck. I'm guessing they're trying to do this as a job. So you do you, boo. Me, you will see me fucking having my balls and dick chopped off before I fucking accept a sponsorship from Raid Shadow Legends. But each to their own.
I'll take that bag as fast as I can.
But definitely worth checking out, folks. They've got some really, really interesting content. Just funny stuff. Holding up players using empty guns, and I watched a video where they were running around. It was pretty, yeah. They would beat people up and then go, "It's April Fool's, dude. It's just a prank." So they're definitely feeding into the what's hot on YouTube sort of format. But good luck to them. A lot of people have mentioned them to me. You know, they got mentioned in the same sentence as you in the video for the Guy Seal podcast about up and coming creators marks. They were saying Freshborns, marks, amazing channels that are growing. You know, DayZ still growing.
I didn't realise I was shut out.
Yeah, it was just a comment that someone left on the video. So, yeah, it's always worth going in and checking comments on videos to see little things like that. It was nice to see. So, yeah, great job, fellas. Keep it up. Maybe look at Raycon earbuds instead of Raid Shadow Legends. There's just a whole stigma with Raid Shadow Legends, but I'd love to know how much people are actually making from Raid Shadow Legends money.
It's in the thousands, I'll say that much.
It's got to be some sort of fucking, money laundering scheme, Raid Shadow Legends, I reckon.
I don't care. Give me a bit of a... Hold on to the money, I don't care.
Mark's DayZ Spotlight videos brought to you by Raid Shadow Legends.
Yep, just waiting for the email.
Ugh. Marks will take any sponsorship. Oh my god, Marks, you need to do the manscaping one, the Weed Whacker 5000 or whatever it is.
God.
The grooming your manly region.
I'll do it.
Someone tag bloody that, whoever that mob is. Tag him on Twitter. I want to see him do a video with the Weed Whacker 1000 or 5000 or whatever it is. Oh god, that's awesome. Community spotlight. I wanted to shine the spotlight on the Chinaris Has Fallen community. Now I've changed my screen around, but I'm going to share their their Discord link. You guys all know me and how much I love hardcore service, and I've been really struggling to find a server that is hardcore enough for me. And these guys reached out. Unfortunately, they're based in the EU or the UK, so my ping is going to be near 400 to play it. But for the style of gameplay, for me, it's not the be-all and end-all. Admittedly, I like it. The lower the ping, the better. But they're a pretty interesting server. They've got a lot of crafting mods. Come on, open up. Oh, for crying out loud. Up! Prior preparation and planning, Boydie. Prior preparation and planning. Just remind me to never do internet banking. I show everything, don't I? But yeah, they've got a pretty active Discord. They're a server that's not high pop, because they're sticking to their core beliefs of what they're after. in the way of their community. Server information. Let's have a look at what they say in here.
Is this server that only has 10 slots?
No.
Or am I thinking of a different server? No, yeah, it's a different server.
Wasteland survival, challenging weather conditions, survival crafting mods, new spawn zones, rewritten tier zones, radiation zones, wild dogs and infected wolves, bears, customized infected, map edits. Chernarus Has Fallen is a DayZ server that is intended for the survival aspect of the game, set 12 years from the original outbreak that came from the release of the DayZ mod in Arma 2. It is vital that remembering and understanding that naturally 12 years forward it would be so much harder to survive, so please keep that in mind. Refer to #serverlore for background and details. Weapons and ammo are not easy to come by, but not impossible. All-out PvP is not the server's vision, but it is allowed all over the map, so KOSing is more than welcome, although interacting is preferred to bring life to the server. Vehicles are there, but to have a fully functioning one, you will need to work hard for it. All the bits and pieces you need are and will be like gold dust, so when you find them, look after them. This includes the 9-volt batteries. The infected are tough, so you can see they've gone for quite a more hardcore aspect. There's been a lot of chatter amongst people who are, like myself, about where are all the good hardcore servers. These guys reached out, so I'm going to be checking them out to see what it's like. It sounds like a lot of the mods that I had on my failed server, they have implemented as well, but they've got one big advantage over me. One, they know how to run a server, and two, a bigger player base. So
it's such a shame that the hardcore servers are usually like low pop, maybe medium pop sometimes, but like this sounds so much more fun to me than all those modded, like insanely over the top servers. And
one of the problems is, and this comes back to content creators. It's something we've talked about quite a bit, Mike. Content creators don't like hardcore servers because it's fucking boring.
Yeah.
I don't have an issue with it. For me, I spend so much time just talking to chat. When I'm playing games, it's more like a bit of a free for all, and everyone just waiting to scare me or see me get scared by something that happened in game, like this morning. But most people, you look at all the big people who've been partnered and gotten that purple tick lately. They're all high intensity players, generally PvPers and interactors, who are always looking for funny and intense interactions, and their streams want that. You go into their chats and you'll have someone, if there's something not happening, like it happens to the Running Man all the time. He's a bit of an oddity because he's not like that. He just plays the game fairly vanilla-ish, but barely a day used to go past when I used to mod for him where someone would come in and say, "This is boring, kill someone."
Yeah, I get the same thing all the time as well.
Yeah, it's it's sad because servers like this can be so rich, but the only time that servers like this can really thrive a bit is when they go strict role play, because then there's the person can still role play their character in downtime and stuff like that, which is still a bit entertaining for those that like it. But when you're just running from Cherno to Electro and there's bugger all houses along the way, maybe no one around, it's pretty boring. So people don't watch it. It's more a community for they've said they've had content creators say to them, "We tried your server, but it's too boring. Sorry."
That's the thing though. It's probably boring because the server population's so low. I feel like a hardcore server with 80 or 90 people in it would be brilliant.
Yeah, but then I'll use Lax as an example. Until Lax started playing day one, his survival skills were pretty average. Now he's a fucking survival guru. So many of them don't know a lot of the basics of surviving. They're used to, like a lot of the feedback from what we talked about before with the infected, is because these people are used to being able to play at that high intensity rate. You saw Uncle Ray Ray's tweet that I touched on. It's basically made Vorkuta, the new infected now, impossible for PvP because there's so many infected. Yeah. But for the people who play the game, I won't say normally, but who play the game hardcore style, it's not an issue for us. We're used to crawling and creeping everywhere. We're used to taking half an hour to loot a small town. Doesn't bother us. We enjoy that play style, but that play style is a niche play style. So servers like this are always going to be niche, you know, because it's going to take someone who's prepared to spend half an hour looting the spawn town that they get to wait for the stones to start spawning in around them, the dynamic spawns, to wait for the fruit to start spawning off of trees and things like that. You know, your streamers don't want to do that. They just want to find a can of beans, find a shovel, go, you know, king hit some geared guy and, you know, upload their next 0 to hero in 5 seconds video. And that's not having a goal for that style. That's what they do. That's their style. That's their way of playing. There's not saying that it's a bad style, but yeah. It's sad though. I would love to see a really good community of high pop hardcore servers. About the only one is DayZ Underground. But that's heading, you know, yeah. That's got the whitelist side of it, and
you could have content creators on that server that just record, don't stream, because you can make a very boring server look very kind of hectic and stuff if you just put in all the good parts, you know. But yeah, like if you're running around for 2 hours or an hour and you haven't found anyone, it gets boring. And even like I find it boring at times as well. I'm like, this just, yeah, I'd rather be shooting someone right now instead of walking around all the time.
Yeah.
And then Lax Hawthorne just pops up in my chat. I hate streamers. I said, you're not a streamer, Lax. You're a legend. But yeah, it's proof that there is something to expanding your play style. You know, Lax was kind of stagnating there for a bit until he went over to Day One. And yes, getting a few raids from Smoke doesn't hurt you, but he said to me many a time it expanded his play style. You know, the whole Namolsk play style of having to light fires and, you know, finding food hard to get and that. Don't be afraid to try something different, folks. You'll grow because of it. You know, Lax is now the complete package. He can survive, he can thrive, he can fucking drive people to suicide with his antics in the game. But yeah, it's definitely worth checking him out. Shinaris has fallen, folks. Should I post? There's their Discord link. Back to the podcast Discord. DayZ Twitter Watch. The new trailer for 1.12. What did you guys think?
I didn't even watch it.
18.
I was too busy.
I thought it was decent enough. Could have been better. Not bad.
Well, actually,
not great.
sorry, yeah, I did watch it. Yeah. Yeah, I didn't know what to expect. Really. It was probably kind of a tricky one to make a video on. Right? Jeff, what it was, it was fine.
I thought it wasn't a bad one, to be honest. And the comments on it were all pretty positive. I went in there expecting a lot of people to be hating them, but no.
Yeah, I wouldn't say it was bad. I think they probably just could have done a better job at showing off the update a little more. Maybe try and show some people getting shot unconscious or something. Because I think the biggest part of that trailer is like what is it? You know what I mean? Like I'm watching the trailer and it doesn't really show like what's
new food items and a new
game.
weapon. That was it.
Yeah.
I will actually say I agree with you there, buddy. When I put my video up as well, I thought it would be one of the worst, like in terms of hate comments. Overwhelmingly positive, which really
What's
took
going
me
on,
back.
guys? So
'cause
today
I
we're
was
back with a new
genuinely
video, and
expecting it to
today's
be just a bloodbath,
Mm.
and it was it was quite pleasant to see it was the other way.
It was surprising. It was a nice thing to see. Really nice thing to see.
Mm-hmm.
Last but not least, we are now down to our individual highlights. We will start with our guest. Mike, what's been your highlight the last week, or just something that you really wanted to shout out?
Oof, tough question. I'm not really sure how to answer that, to be honest. I think as far as DayZ goes, I've been really happy with how the devs have been interacting on Twitter and stuff like that. I think they're doing such a great job at taking feedback and listening to people. I've even seen the official DayZ Twitch account coming into different streams and just listening to chat and taking feedback from people, and I think that's really been great to see. But apart from that, I don't really have much to say, to be honest.
Yep.
I will say as well that the DayZ YouTube account has been going into streams as well. They popped into mine quite a few times as well, which has been nice to see as well. But my shout out I'd have to give to Essica.
Yeah.
It's just amazing. I've been waiting so long for that map and it finally released, and couldn't be happier with it. And I'm excited to see where it goes in the future.
I kind of have to go with you as well, mate. It caught me by surprise. I was watching Lack stream, and I asked him what it was like, and he said he's got a new favourite map. And I know how much that guy has been loving the Molsk, and for him to say that kind of piqued my interest. And it was like, I hadn't planned to jump on and stream before the podcast. I normally don't. Normally I just, wake up, have a couple of coffees and that, and then just start watching the podcast. But Lax actually made me, fuck it, I'm going to start early. I was sitting there this morning at 2:30 going, what am I going to do for the next few hours? I've already done my admin for the show. Fuck it, I'm going to jump on and I'm going to stream it. Because it looked like he was just almost ready to orgasm over it. And then I got on there, and the first town I spawned in had this weird barn that wasn't laid properly. But then Rudy jumped on, scared the living bejesus out of me, which gave everyone a laugh. And then he took me to Essica. And for the first time in a long time, I can say I'm going to be spending a lot of time in the city.
Yeah.
There is so much to explore. I want to get to know it. And I actually kind of want a PvP in it. You should. Toprek, I need you to start playing DayZ again, because I need to see some of your trolling videos where Taupe has some of my favourite videos of Taupe's are where, like you probably remember this one, Mike, where he hid in the garbage pile.
Oh yeah, of course.
Can you imagine what he's going to be able to do in Essica?
Yeah.
Oh my god, that's going to be hilarious
what video
shit.
you're talking about as well.
Yeah. Oh my god, that's going to be
Taupe's
awesome.
always been a mastermind of that. He's just sort of cheeky trolling in a way, I guess you could sum him up.
Yep. Very, very much looking forward to it. But yeah, definitely Essica is, we need to get doors back on the outside toilets as well. Yeah, we do. Yes, that's a good one. Wait until someone goes past you. You used to be really good when you use in third person, because you could just have the camera outside while you're locked up inside and they can't see you. But yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. Sadly, it doesn't look like we managed to raise anything for the charity fundraiser that I'm doing. But it still goes until the end of the month. So if your position changes and you can spare a few quid, please go straight to their website. I don't know whether anyone donated directly to their website. If you did, thank you very much. I do want to work with them about setting up some links and that, so that if anyone does donate via a link that some streamers can have, it does register on the stream. But yeah, definitely worth checking out their website, folks. Wounded Heroes are a fantastic organisation. Mike, thank you so much for coming on the stream, buddy. I really do appreciate it, mate.
Thank you very much for having me on, mate. It's been a pleasure to speak to you guys.
We love doing it, don't we, Marks? It's a great way to, the player episode is becoming one of my favourite episodes because, we've got to remember that this game's not just about the public face of it. I use the word public, but the show side of it, the streamers and the content creators. But it's about the millions of other people who don't create content who bought this game and want to have a game that they enjoy playing as well. And not all of those people watch content creators either. So we've got to make sure we have something that is a balanced game for everyone.
Exactly.
All the best, everyone. We will see you next week. And next week's guests, we have Mario and Tyrone coming on to talk about animations and AI.
I'm very excited for that one.
Spread the word. I really, really want to see a lot of people. I want to see, if you can, if you know people, I want to see content creators in here. I want the word to get spread about what we are talking about next week. It's fucking huge. Yes, it's a bit of a, it's the planting of some seeds, and a lot of people are going to need to do stuff with the seeds that are planted, but it is going to be it is the biggest episode of the podcast yet. I've got to work out ways to hype it up. Marks, if you could do the best you can with your community, they do not want to miss this one. You might even want to consider streaming it yourself, mate, if you're up for that, just to get as many eyes on. But yeah, real quick before you go, Boydie, I've made that mini DayZ vid. It'll be up tomorrow. Sweet, Farlong. Post a link to your channel in the chat, buddy, and send it to me as well. But we need to get as many eyes as possible in here, so that I'll be honest, a lot of what he's going to talk about is probably going to go straight over my fucking stupid head. Mark, you're a bit smarter than me. You may understand it a bit better, but it's gonna be fucking big. It is the biggest thing to happen to DayZ. I struggle to think of anything the way I see this that is bigger for DayZ than the invention of DayZ.
That's a big claim.
That's a very big claim.
I honestly do, guys. I honestly do. For the game that we have, what is going to happen is DayZ could turn a new corner. You know how I've been indicating that DayZ's kind of on a bit of a downward spiral at the moment, Marks?
Mm-hmm.
This could reinvigorate the game like you've never seen.
Hopefully. I hope you're right.
Let's hope so.
Yeah. I talk a big game, don't I, folks?
Very big game. Let's hope you're right.
Yeah, if this is terrible now, you're going to have a lot of hate.
Mate, look at this face. I put this face on the internet. Do you think I care about hate? Give me your fucking hate, motherfuckers. I thrive on it. I eat it for breakfast.
This fucking guy.
Oh god.
Keegan Holland is in chat. He's a modder himself. Am I overselling this? We'll wait for him to reply.
And he just says yes and then leaves.
No. I know you have your doubts, Marks. You're I'm the one who would jump in there like, yes. You're the one. No, just come on. Let's just take this seriously. The look on your face says it all. The look on your face says it all. But, dude, this is.
I'm hooked up to it.
And do you understand much? Like, we had a little bit of a discussion in the admin chat. Do you understand? Do you think you fully understand what we're talking about here?
Yeah.
Good.
I just don't want to give it away, but yeah.
Keegan says he thinks I'm underhyping it.
Well, then we'll do it. Yeah. Well, let's wait and see, won't we?
We will, folks. Yeah. Get everyone in here, please. I want hundreds. I want hundreds of people in here watching this. Content creators, modders, hundreds. If we could get to 1,000 people watching, I want every motherfucker to jump into people's Twitter feeds and tell them don't stream. Or if you no, fuck this. If you're gonna stream at the same time as the podcast, stream the podcast. I don't care if you take viewers away from me. I don't fucking care. This is so important that everyone needs to be watching it. If there's someone streaming DayZ next Saturday or Sunday and they're not watching the podcast, go in there and fucking tell them, hey, stream the podcast, you wanker. You're missing out on the biggest fucking thing since the invention of DayZ.
Sal's podcast really got to you, didn't it? You're really desperate to come back.
All the best, everyone. Next week with Mario E and Tyrone Biggums. It's going to be huge, folks. It's going to be huge. I love you all. Thank you all so much for coming in. Mini DayZ vid tomorrow. Let's go, boys. Boyd, he ain't playing. No, I'm not playing. It's fucking huge. It's huge. Say bye-bye, everyone.
See you later. Goodbye.
Later, boys.
Ciao for now.